Hello? Is this thing on? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2 minutes until Citizencon starts. And I'm very excited about this. Oh, very excited. Oh, brilliant. In theory, this should be working. So if you can hear me, hello, welcome. I've been asked so many times to either react to this or do a live stream, so I thought I'd do a live stream because that'd probably be easier, right? And then we can have the live reactions to everything that's happening. I need to quickly just double check this is all working okay. So volume is completely off. I'm assuming because it's counting down the timer. Are you excited for Citizencon? What do you want to see today? Tell me in the comments down below. But right now, I'm just going to double check that's all right. That looks okay. And yeah, just wait 1 minute 58, I guess. Oh, there's something happening. What's going on? There you go. Hang on. Technical difficulties, give me a second. Hang on. Where'd it go? It's always the bloody way, isn't it? Hang on. If I put that here, that will then show on the stream, right? Yeah. So, do I have to move the whole tab over here? I'm assuming. There you go. Right, that works. Oh, let's make it bloody difficult. Right. Hello. Do you check Twitter DMs? Sometimes. The only problem is my Twitter DMs will kind of put you into like separate sections if I don't follow you. So I don't see. I sometimes just don't see them. You quit watching Series 6 of Stargate to join me. Well, thank you very much. Oh, good choice. That's a great show. I need to make this so it's... Hang on. Technical difficulties. You gotta love being live, don't you? It's the worst. I like being live at times, but it can be a bit annoying. Oh, I love you too, Jack. Thank you very much for the comment.
Digital Citizencon 2951. So it's really, really good to be back in front of the camera and talking to all of you out there. I wish it was in person. As you know, we have been doing Citizencons for a long time, and last year was the last year we didn't do it because of the pandemic. And we didn't want to go another year without having a Citizencon, but we felt like this year it was a bit too close to get back to do it in person with all the issues with travel, and we're doing it virtually and digital this year. And I'm hoping next year we'll get to do it in person. So it's been very challenging for all of us. There's about 720 of us have all been working from home. But you know, a silver lining to that cloud, which is a lot more of you have had more time to play Star Citizen and give us feedback and get engaged. I mean, we, compared to where we were in the last time we had a physical Citizencon in 2019, the number of daily players that we have in Star Citizen is on average 2 to 3 times more than we had back in 2019, which is fantastic. 2020 was a big year of expansion for us. 21 is also been incredibly great. And we're hoping with some of the features that we're working on, like server meshing, we're working on a bunch of optimizations, quality of life, and maturing, you know, some of the gameplay loops that you're starting to see happen. I mean, we've got some stuff coming up like Death of a Spaceman, where the first part of it, the medical gameplay, is going to be there, and also the beginning of physical inventory with the personal inventory. It's not fully finished yet. Those are 2 major game changers that are coming very shortly. In fact, they're coming with 3.15, and there's a lot of other things that are just beyond that. We're going to continue that momentum, and you know, more and more people will be discovering Star Citizen, and more you will be spending more hours playing it and having fun, giving us great feedback, and we're inevitably inching towards the finish line of having something that we can say, yep, this is the definitive experience for you guys. And so I'm really excited by that. But let's get back to today. And today is about Digital Citizencon, and we've got some really great stuff to show you. The first of that is going to be led off by Todd Pappy with Ian Leland and David Haddock. And I don't want to spoil it. There's some really great stuff. It's going to use a combination of some features that are coming very soon and some...
All I'm excited about right now is 315, right? 315! With the medic stuff and the physical inventory.
Citizen universe. So without further ado, let me pass it to them.
So just a warning, I will obviously be talking over things. You can watch this stream on their Twitch, and they will be uploading every section to YouTube after. Oh, thank you very much, Pez. Oh my god. Stanton! I've been there. That's the main solar system. I'd have to remember all these things. I've only obviously been playing for about a month, right? We ask what is beyond that next planet. What is beyond our current system? Space. Endless space. Oh, Area 18, right? Yeah, there you go. Teaser spaceport. Well, hang on. No, teaser spaceport. That's, oh! The thing... Well, I got lost! It is good, Jordan. It is very good. Oh, I've been there! This is going to be weird for people who obviously know Star Citizen very well, because obviously I'm a new player. So I'm... Oh my god, what is that? I like it. What is that? What? Whoa. That looks so cool. Is that in the game? I haven't seen that. Very happy about the Grand Theft Auto trilogy coming. Very happy. I'm a bit annoyed that they're deleting the original games, though. Because I kind of want to go back to the originals at some point, you know? If you've been into games like No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous, this is on that level, I would say. Yeah, or more so. It's a jump gate. Oh, it's Deep Space Nine. Pyro? What's that? Is that a... It's a jump gate to another star system? What? Oh my god.
Live game director.
Hi, I'm Ian. I'm the art director for Star Citizen.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm the narrative director at Star Citizen.
So finally, we're saying goodbye to Stanton. It's quite precious to us. We've been talking about it. We've been looking at it. We've been living there for quite a long time. Now it's time to, you know, move the conversation on, start to look at something new.
Is it good solo? Yes, I've been playing solo in my stream, in my videos, and it's a ton of fun. But obviously better with people, I would assume. But it is great on solo.
Something that was quite wondrous, something that was quite amazing. You know, it's not dark, it's not mysterious, it's not hostile, but it's more, like I said, wondrous.
So when we started looking at Pyro, and we had to start looking at how the jump points work when we're traveling from Stanton to Pyro or Pyro to Stanton.
I don't use Discord, Quaddix. I don't like Discord, it's too busy.
What's the lore, just because on one side it's very lawless versus the other side is dealing with the UEE. So we needed to go through and really think about how this was working, and then also with the jump points, how smugglers would work with the secondary and tertiary routes that would lead into the main jump point.
Are there going to be checkpoints and stuff? Like where you have to stop and they scan your ship? That's going to be awesome.
There's sort of the main entrance that you would go through on Stanton, which would be the sort of guarded, have the infrastructure that you had mentioned, the security and stuff like that, but the possibility that there would be alternate ways to kind of get in to bypass that, so which would be, you know, beneficial knowledge for smugglers, or criminals who were trying to, get in under the radar.
Yeah.
And also it was,
A back door. Oh, fancy.
was responsible for the jump point. In reality, it's a naturally occurring thing. An interesting balance of make it seem like this is a checkpoint, but at the same time, it's something that the ships are creating, not the structures.
So before we
Tweet at me, Quadix, and I'll have a look.
let's take a deep dive into the op process with Jake Dunlap, and he's going to be taking us through the authoring process for the Stanton and Pyro jump points.
Oh, this is exciting.
Bringing jump points to the verse has been an interesting journey as we've been designing a new element in our game. We've put a lot of time into creating 2 solid examples of different types of jump points you'll eventually see all around the verse, one in Stanton and one in Pyro. We've been continuing to use Houdini as the tool to create these gas clouds. The setup we have for them is a parent gas cloud and a child gas cloud. The parent is mainly used as an establishing shot when you arrive in your ship from quantum travel, while the child is used as the main gameplay environment and is placed inside the parent. The child also has a reasonable scale, which keeps your average ship speed in mind. These things aren't nearly the size of real nebula, if you're curious. But by no means are the jump points small. Here's an example of a Pyro jump point next to Microtech.
Whoa.
To explain the process a bit more, we create the parent at a large scale, then cut out a small box in the center of it.
This reminds me of that Alex Jones clip. Consume the child. Sorry.
The details will be different depending on what type of gas cloud you want and if you want to easily fly through it or not. We usually spend time investigating different designs for the gas clouds, but with the Stanton jump point, the work had already been started and used in the 2019 Citizencon demo. We just had to go through, clean up the Houdini file and get it game ready with a couple of extra tweaks along the way. Some of the tweaks we made to the parent were making it feel like more of a structurally sound rotating disc. This was to make it feel like a safe and well-used jump point.
I love the lighting effects. Oh god, that looks incredible. I can't wait to fly into that. It looks so cool.
So we spent time morphing the magnetic lines in the center to create a really interesting horizontal, flowing, relaxing composition to visually show you that Stanton itself is generally a safe place at first glance. The parent gas cloud for Pyro was created with the same process as the Stanton parent, but we changed the shape of the cloud into something more menacing and violent. We wanted the reveal of Pyro to be a clear warning of what you should be expecting throughout the entire system, so we made it very closed in, dense, and very active. We did make it a small challenge to traverse the child, something that won't take too long but should be something to consider when traveling through. Something that helped really quickly create a fun traversal route was creating a white box play area in engine out of solid geometry and flying around it right away.
Oh my god, that looks so interesting. I know it's obviously not finished, but wow. It's like paper mache. That's awesome.
Where we converted it to a volume and combined it with the upresed area of the parent to export that out as the child cloud.
I wonder if you can, like, hide ships in the cloud and then come out and just attack players. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but it's somewhere where you could hide, right?
Stanton feels very clean, put together, and generally safe with the disc-like form that it has. But Pyro feels like it's more violent, distressed, and this shows in its form. The comparison is shown well in both of the child clouds. In the Stanton child cloud, we have nice long strands of the magnetic waves that encapsulate the jump point that feel harmonious, beautiful, and free. Whereas in the Pyro cloud, it shows almost the opposite. The walls feel like they're closing in on you, moving in unpredictable ways, completely unstable. Your ship could enter into a wall and disappear within a second. Lighting also plays a big role in how we feel about these spaces. You can see these are dramatically different areas in the mood and tone, and lighting is the key to that. So that's a brief look at jump points. They've evolved quite a bit since last time you saw them. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Biggest, really? Okay.
So one of the things that players will first probably come across when they come into the Pyro system is the space station. You know, it was discovered a long time ago. It was sort of deemed uninhabitable because it was just too dangerous with that variable flare star going on. So they kind of utilized the system for resources.
So how far out do you think this is? Is this like, what, next year? 2 years away? 5 years away? I'm hoping soon. I don't think it's going to be 315, right? This is going to be way in the future, probably.
To slowly move into the system, criminals, squatters, survivors, and whatever, and start to kind of take over what was left behind.
Which gives us some unique gameplay comparatively to Stanton and the space stations there. So with Pyro, since they're in such disrepair, some of them are inhabited, some of them...
Pyro is 2 times larger than Stanton. Not 5, but more than 2 years. Wow.
In there, whether it been hit by an asteroid, or if it's there was some sort of conflict there before, but you'll be able to go and explore the different decks and be able to go and meet new people, meet the frontier lifestyle, enjoy it.
Okay, so before...
I think the main thing is you need to remember with Star Citizen is it's still in early access, I guess, in alpha, and that all of these things are off in the future, but when they're in the game, it's going to be fucking fantastic. Leave a like if you're enjoying this so far, because I like the look of this stuff. It's just, I want to get there, you know? I want to go to Pyro. I want to go and explore these places.
Asteroids and surrounded by floating debris. Hiding place for Outlaw looks old, decrepit. Lawless, no security force here. Approach at your own risk. Industrial look, messy, but not abandoned. Some parts are wrecked, but under repair and raw looking.
Reinigan, is it? I mean, well, our chat generally is very laid back and calm, so you're welcome here.
And focus on the shape only. We then try to play with a touch of color to define more of the...
I'm doing good, Mike. Thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm doing a lot better today. I can actually breathe through my nose, so that's fun.
The whole look with a rusty vibe and brown tones. Adding a touch of light and some context around the sketch allows to see the scale of thing and properly view the silhouette. We expand on the idea to play with the mechanism and functionality. This is the color sketches of the asteroid Hunter Harpoon and at different angles. In this sketch, we can clearly feel the arrival of the asteroids and the dismantling or destruction zone. We also need some top angles to properly showcase the size and scale of it. With all those elements in place, we can now build a nice plate of the entire concept for the asteroids Harpoon with all the piece together. The Shantytown module habitation is a nice idea to add a kind of small city on the outskirts of the space station.
I quite like that, having like a shanty town. Like it feels like a dark Doctor Who storyline or something, where there's like a space station that's been exploded or has had something really bad happen, and they have to try and save them. I like this. I like the idea of this.
How cool the and cold color contrast is interesting.
I muted it by accident, sorry.
Help define and expose the different elements of the concept to properly illustrate it. Now...
Yeah, this stream isn't going to be... I don't think this is going to be 10 hours. I don't think I can stream for that long. We'll keep going, and we'll see what the upcoming shows are, because I can put that on the screen, and we can have a look to see what's coming up next.
See the silhouette shape sketches for the front of the port platform structure. A quick side view plan here is necessary to well build this design. We fill the form and the ratio and the size of what we want to achieve. And of course, we create a color sketch to see what it could be. we see the industrial look and some potential details to better define and deep dive into. For those, we have a deeper design exploration of this industrial area. Pipes, tanks, angular shapes, and a color touch. Combining 2D and 3D sketches really help properly communicate the design intent. It's a common technique now, but it's really efficient to highlight areas of the concept. Using 3D is also very useful.
Okay, so when they're doing this quickly, I want to go on here and show you the schedule. Because that's something that obviously is interesting. So this is Life in the Verse right now, and this is on until, what, an hour? This is going to be on until, and then Ship Talk is the interesting one. That's what I'm waiting for. And that's going to be the new renderer that's going to make the game run better, which is cool. Planetary Tools, I don't know, we may not, I don't know about watching that one. Like, Sounds of Space sounds interesting. And then we've got closing with Chris Roberts and Systemic Gameplay and Stream of Thought, which is very interesting. But I definitely want to see the upcoming ships, and I also definitely want to see Vulcan, because I want to see how the game's going to run. But yeah, that's what's happening right now.
Finally, we provide some options for paint of the exterior surfaces. We work from a list of brands and factions that we need to incorporate to the design. We started from the narrative things, worked to build the visual identity of the different brands, exploring different ways to represent them and the environment, stickers, flat surfaces, graffiti, or official paint job. This really brings the sketches alive and set in the universe of Star Citizen. The Outlaw Station are a staple of the Pyro system, and we hope this first exterior concept phase excites you as much as we had fun to create it. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Looks great.
That's the exterior. So right now we're going to go from the outside and we're going to jump to the interior. Before we really started exploring
My first Star Citizen stream, yeah, I've streamed quite a lot before with KCD and other games, but this is my first Star Citizen stream. My reaction to all of this happening right now.
maybe this old mining station, how would they have adapted the space? You know, they would have, right, okay, we need power here. Okay, that will create heat. So we started thinking about, okay, where would the heat lamps be? And then where would light come from? So just the principal concept of power, creating heat, creating light, that was pretty much the core of the start of the visual development process.
So when we started talking about it from a design side, we needed to make sure that we were covering certain shops, just basic needs for the player. Everything's bare bones. It could be that it used to be a clothing store, now it's a food shop, and so they've converted it. The gangs moved in. You know, it's not what it used to be, and but you see that old skeleton there.
One of the things that definitely we've been talking about with Pyro that we didn't really get to see in Stanton is the idea of the sort of the gang presence. So you know, that idea that they're the sort of local law in the area. So, you know, you might see gang members coming and shaking down some of these shopkeepers for protection money or rent, you know, type thing.
Or even shaking down the player.
Did that graffiti say shitter? What?
So when we started to explore some of the side areas, there were other factors that we had to cover. Habitation, clinics, you know, players need a place to sleep, to log out, as well as players need a way to get
Did you notice that the rooms were 200 credits? I don't know if that's actually going to be in the final game, but if we do have to rent rooms for the night, 200 credits isn't too bad.
Started to take it into the habs and how they were possibly repurposed, or the clinics and how those were possibly repurposed. So, and just make sure that everything felt cohesive in its raw, natural form In the way that we have the station structured, we haven't let players go into like living quarters of where the people that lived at the station would be, or even into the lower decks where the power, where the gravity generators are. And this is where we're going to start introducing these areas, and it opens up new opportunities for the players to go explore and do new things. But it's
No, Lardex, there isn't. Not yet, anyway.
Possibilities for mission content, you know, whether it's actually maybe working for the gang itself or other kind of little small things you could do inside there to really kind of, drive you deep into the bowels of this thing.
Okay, so that's a little look at the insides of the stations, but now we'll jump to Christian, and Christian's going to take us on a little bit of a deeper dive into the concept development process of the inside of the stations.
Hi, my name is Christian Doratz. I'm a senior concept artist on the environment team, and we're going to look at the concept development for the space station a little bit. So first off, we looked at the heat map. So there is a lot of what I said, the electricity is gone, the heating is gone, and the breathable air, the oxygen is gone. So there is pretty much all of those connected areas. They are lifeless in a way, right? So you wouldn't settle down somewhere in between those empty corridors. We were trying to sort our thoughts and get them on paper, right? So we were exploring.
Is that one of the characters from Among Us in the distance there? Oh, there he is. He's the traitor.
We're thinking about what would happen if all of a sudden one pathway is blocked off or another one will open up, right? So we were thinking about verticality and how the players or the NPCs can traverse all of those interesting areas that are, in the end, pretty ominous, right? So think about, there are some people just screwing off side panels on the wall, or they are screwing off ceiling panels, and you would see all of the maintenance areas behind it. So we'd see a lot of struts, a lot of working areas. There's cables hanging.
Michelle just asked how the griefer situation is in the game. I've not run into anyone who's been a dick. So far, I've heard people have said that they have, but I haven't personally. Everyone seems really friendly so far. I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen at some point, because that's always going to happen in online games, but it's not as bad as something more, I don't know, like Call of Duty, I guess, or other games. So
introduce more dirt. We could introduce some damaged panels, side panels, and pretty much explore this side area, right? And the big advantage of this is that we can make the environment how we like. So one thing that we did is like kill all the lights because we don't need lighting. We want to create our own lighting, and this is what I said earlier.
Pez says about that procession to Calvary, Roxy voiceover DLC. I will buy the game to have your voiceovers. They are making a sequel that's coming out next year or late this year. I haven't heard anything, unfortunately. Although the game I played yesterday on the channel, I may be doing voices. The dev really likes my voice, and even the Warhorse voice director reached out and was like, you need to do voice acting in this. Which is crazy. So there's something.
20% in this case means having a final render and painting over. So we were just painting over in Photoshop and doing some more refinements for the mood and the lighting. We were painting in some of the decaling and some of the graffitis, because it is ultimately easier to do all these things in 2D than in 3D and caring about the materials. So we were able to just refine the final concept in this regard. And this wasn't a straight process from A to B. It was an iterating process. So in between, if you're looking at some of the other concepts, for example, the barriers, we were at one point thinking about what would happen if we introduce barriers that the gang members then would set up on one point. So what does that mean for you as a player? What is the player doing, or what is the player doing at this point? So will he encounter these gang members? Will he try to find a way around? Is he going to use some of the ladders or the underground vents?
So many people have asked me to be an NPC in KCD2. Look, I'd be up for doing it, of course. But I'd probably have to fly to Prague, right? I haven't got a recording booth.
We then could cherry pick the best parts of it, or in other teams, the environment team, the design team could cherry pick the best ideas from those concepts. And this was pretty much a rundown of the concept development for the Pyro space station's interior.
Thanks, Christiana. Looked appropriately scummy.
So we've been talking a lot about the insides of the stations. We've been looking.
Was that like a... that was an underhanded statement, wasn't it? It was like, oh, thank you. That looked like shit. I know how he meant it, but out of context, oh god.
The principal environment artist here at Cloud Imperium Games. Today we're going to be going through the Pyro space station's visual target and pre-production sort of things that we're going to be doing for these rundown / outlaw space stations. So what I have here right in front of me now is obviously the food court from our Stanton space stations. We've just dragged the wear up on all of them. So now we're getting all of this really nice grime on all of these surfaces.
Look, if Kingdom Come Deliverance wanted me to... if Warhorse wanted me to be in KCD2, and they reached out and said, could you be a character? I'd do it. Of course I bloody would.
We've got lots of heavy fog coming in. Don't pay too much attention to the particles now. I'll go into them a little bit later. We've got some light panels up here shooting through the rafters, and we've got another one over here as well, right? So we're gonna do a quick little thing here. It's adding in some cables, right? And now this is really important, not only to achieve the art direction, but it gives us a really nice level of parallax within the scene, right? We have a couple of design constraints within this space as well. One of those being we have a gang and then a general civilian population, right? Now, one of the things that we wanted to do in terms of that design in this particular space was separate it out in like a kind of class type system, right? So we're going to start to explore some of the requirements of that. One of that being that, like I mentioned before, you can't get up here unless you're in favor with the gang. So we need to put in the instruments that are going to help portray that, and that is a checkpoint, right? So, and just a side note, all of this stuff is super work in progress and nothing is final. So don't read too much into it. So from here, we're missing a few bits and pieces, right? But one of the ways that we're going to solve that is with...
Are there going to be aliens in Star Citizen? I don't know. I'm assuming there will be at some point, right? But we haven't really seen anything. I don't even know if there's any lore that says there are. I don't know enough about the game, unfortunately, at this point. I hope so. It would be nice.
The stuff in the environment. So bear with me for a sec when I turn this on.
Oh, I've been, yep, apparently there are. So there are multiple alien empires in the game and several races, but we just haven't seen them, I'm assuming, at this point. But yeah, so there are.
So what we can do with our technical systems as well, right? One of the things that was immediately apparent to us is that AI is really tricky to deal with when in tight and enclosed spaces, right? So we need to look at areas like this here and this here to make sure that it's wide enough that a few AI can pass each other or a player and not, you know, look completely gross, right? Now, I mentioned lighting before, so I'm gonna turn off the working lights that we've got.
I will say that the environments, like these environments, look very similar to Cyberpunk 2077, which is good because Cyberpunk 2077 looks fantastic. I love the design, and this kind of has a similar look to that, and I really like it.
Bit of a lighting pass, so this is already starting to look quite nice, but we're not getting, you know, that thickness that we were getting up on the top level, right? We're not getting that little bit of life to a certain extent. And we're also getting these areas here where they just fall completely into darkness, which is not fun. So obviously, like I said before, we'd be doing lighting as we go through this process, but just to see how much of an impact that pass can do on an environment like this, we'll just turn it on for you. So you start to instantly see we've now got a lot more thickness within the environment. And if I just double check just to make sure that our lights are generating.
What? I wonder if they aren't showing the frame rate. As soon as he turned it on, it dropped to about 2. No, hopefully with Vulkan it's going to be a lot better. But I imagine, I mean, even now you go into some stations and they have all this lighting effects, which look fantastic, but the performance is god-awful at times. And that's sometimes down to servers, but with Vulkan, definitely that's going to help.
About the rain now. Why is there rain inside, right? So this is generally a really cold station. And when people are in this area that's in the center, because there's so much stuff happening.
Oh, SAC, I really want to do voice acting. I've always wanted to do voice acting. I did radio back in the day, but I want to make that my thing. But do it in gaming. I'd love to be a part of a game.
Everyone wants to be, right? So what happens when you have this many people cooking food in this one small area, you know, breathing hot air, that sort of thing, it all starts to rise in this environment, and it starts to get that massive cavern, right, that we've got up here, all the way up to the roof there. As it goes up, it starts to cool down, right? And we start to get precipitation inside, where it starts to...
Wait, what? Jesus Christ, this is detailed. Wow!
That means once it's all fallen down here, it's actually quite wet and damp. It's still cold and a little bit warm around heaters, but it's generally quite damp because of that weird kind of event. Now, the rain as it currently sits is just a placeholder asset that we're borrowing from Squadron, and that will have to obviously be remade to suit the amount of rain that we want to have within this environment, which won't be, you know, crazy. But
oh yeah, nothing crazy or anything. Yeah, your breath makes condensation. Nothing crazy.
I hope you really enjoyed seeing the breakdown that we've done here today, learning a little bit about the process of going in and doing a visual target, and
moist. I know everyone loves that word, moist.
Rest of Citizencon here today, and I'll catch you later.
Cool, thanks Josh.
Yeah, Josh, you're mad, I love it.
So as we continue our process of exploring the Pyro system, now I think it'd be good to look a little bit at the planets and moons that populate the system. Now, one of the things we thought would be interesting to talk about is how do we design a system from the ground up? As with all of this, we always start from narrative, you know, before we put any pen to paper or we have any discussions about player experience. We always start from, you know, the world that, you know, Dave and others have.
Do you think they'll ever make Earth? Do you think that'll be a thing? I hope so. I think it's in Elite Dangerous, right, Earth? It would be so cool if you could fly down to Earth and they use the same engine that and data that Microsoft Flight Simulator does. That would be amazing. And also, who's Tony's? I'm seeing that a lot in chat.
To flesh it out more, because we kept it intentionally kind of vague, because we want the art team you guys to do what you do and the designers to do what they do.
So when we started that exploration process, we knew we had like a ballpark that we needed to stay in. So we literally thought, okay, how do we design a system? And fundamentally, it kind of comes into maybe 3 key areas. So because we're a space game, the establishing shot of that planet is very, very important, because it describes everything from, you know, continent breakup, fundamental palette. So right from the get-go, we started to sketch in ideas of what the key establishing shots were going to be like. And then from there, we jump into key art. So key art is basically...
So apparently they do have Earth already modelled, or being modelled. No, it is modelled and being reworked. Earth/Terra. Tony Zeverak, or is one of the lead designers of the game, and every time they put him on camera, he would just dump loads of info on you. Okay, I'm excited for that then.
We hit that first, and you know, we wanted something hostile, we wanted something hazardous. Also, as part of this process is we knew our current tech limitations, but we also knew what we wanted to do in terms of our future tech, you know, future planet tech, weather, you know, so we kind of went crazy with ideas as we was exploring. So we went through the various planets, did some key art, and again, put them up on the board, and just to validate, we are keeping within that palette, but we're getting that diversity. We're getting that diversity of color, hue, value structure, silhouettes, composition, because even within something like Stanton, there's variety. You know, that was very important for me and the team, where you want to feel like you're on a space opera. You can travel around, but now we're going to a completely other system. So we continued that ideation process there. So we had the establishing shots, we had some key art, and then from there is we create like what we call like breakout packs. This is where, when we're talking through with design about, you know, what are the interactables that the player maybe will come across, what are the minables, what are the harvestables, and then from there we start to build out literal breakouts for, or almost asset packs that will go to the team. Now from there, like, we did a first pass exploration, and what we did is we put it all together on a single board for Chris to have almost like a commander's view of a new system.
God, look at all that stuff.
We showed it to
Like,
yourself, Dave.
I love the yellow and black rocks in the middle. They look incredible.
The establishing shots, you got the key art, you got the breakout, and for me personally, that's how I like to work. I like to see that, like I said, a commander's view of an entire system, and then from there you can kind of tweak, adjust, and, you know, mold things into what play experience we want to put forward. So that was a snapshot of the visual exploration process we use when designing a system from the ground up. Now we can take a break from us talking and go to an art video, a sizzle video created by the art team. And what this will show is, it will show a kaleidoscope of planets and moons from Pyro, and it will also showcase some of the latest and greatest art techniques and processes and tools that the art team have.
And these will be playable in 2037. With how detailed they are, it's going to take bloody ages. Ah. Come on, let's see these then. No, ship talk is, I think, next? Hang on, I can check the schedule in a second. Okay, so the schedule, we're currently watching Life in the Verse, which goes on until 17:15 UTC, which is, hang on, that's like, oh, this goes on for a while. I was expecting, oh, right, of course, UTC is an hour behind for us. So it's 16:40 right now, but that'll be 8:15, no, 6:15, and then after that, after this is ship talk. So I didn't expect an hour and 30 minutes of them talking about planets. But I understand why. It's because the game's so bloody detailed that you need literally hours to talk about it. That's mad. It's a 2-hour segment, yeah. Jesus. So even with this and then ship talk, that's gonna be 4 hours. And then I wanted to watch the Vulcan stuff as well.
And hopefully from seeing that video, hopefully you guys are too. So as a continuation, now we can jump to Sebastian, and Sebastian will talk to you a little bit more about the cloud authoring process and some of our latest cloud tech. Then we can jump to Maximilian. Maximilian will talk a little bit about geology creation, how we create that type of biome. And then lastly, we can go to Özlem, and Özlem will go into a lot more detail about how we take some of the concept art that we've been showing of the botanicals and how we interpret that to in-game artwork.
So now we're talking about clouds. What is this? I find find it fascinating. Like, I don't know what to expect when I walked into this. I know a lot of people asked me to cover this. I was expecting them to be showing the update, new ships and stuff like that. I wasn't expecting them to be taking like 20 or 30 minutes talking about clouds, which is going to be happening now. So buckle in. It's fascinating. It really is. I'm not having a go. I'm literally just mind blown right now.
We are evaluating everything from a very manual process that involves painting every pixel to a fully procedural one with little to no.
If you like clouds, leave a like and share this video. And also, I have a PayPal link in the description below if you want to donate. I only ask like once a stream. I'm not one of these people who's like, give me money. But yes, I have a PayPal link and super chat, and yeah, that helps with the channel. Anyway, I could probably buy a new ship. Ooh, fancy. Anyway, continuing.
Global property map, which determines what type of cloud is being used at any point on the planet's surface. It is also used for controlling the color placement of non-water-based clouds, but I'll get to that later. The other map is for defining the types of clouds and is named accordingly. The cloud type map allows us to control the cloud density and the impact of the two separately tiling 3D noises, which add detail and definition to what would otherwise be.
Bigger says No Man's Sky. It's giving me No Man's Sky vibes. Yes, I understand that. It's a lot more. It's a lot more in depth though. No Man's Sky is great. I really enjoy what they've done with it. But this is just on another level. I mean, it's not as big, obviously, but it's. Wow.
That we can not only feed it data in the shape of a circle, but ultimately whatever shape we want. With the density channel, we can control how thick the clouds appear. White pixels represent very dense clouds, black pixels produce no clouds at all, and then we also have everything in between. There's always a tiny bit of impact from the tiling noises, which you can see to have an effect on the lower density regions. The shaping noise and its control texture are the most impactful in terms of turning a nicely shaded volume into something we can clearly identify as clouds. How much it gets to affect the shape of the clouds depends on the brightness and the...
I'm gonna say right now, this cloud is extremely unrealistic. No, I know they're showing it off.
More ethereal shapes and everything in between. The last of the cloud type map channels controls the erosion noise. It is lower resolution than the shaping noise, since its main purpose is to add an extra layer of small detail. We usually just add it everywhere, unless we specifically want soft clouds with less definition. Black values add details in the way the tiling noise is authored, while white values invert the noise and medium gray values...
I think the best clouds in a video game right now are Microsoft Flight Simulator. Those clouds are insane. These look good. I wonder if they're going to show going through them at some point. And that'll be the ultimate test. I don't know if they can beat Microsoft Flight Simulator though, because that game is gorgeous with clouds. It's probably the most realistic looking clouds in anything ever.
More abstract cloud shapes that wouldn't normally occur on Earth. This is an area, in combination with different global data, we keep investigating to produce more alien cloud formations in the future. We've been advancing this approach with Pyro 5, another gas giant, which brings me to the other use of the global property map. It has a second channel, which, in combination with a color gradient, is used to control the global color of the clouds for not so physically correct coloring of the gas giants. We sometimes have to restrain ourselves to not make brightly colored balls of cotton candy. There are a lot more settings that allow us to tweak everything from how the clouds are shaded and shadowed, over the global impact and frequency of the detail noises, to parameters that drastically change what results the textures I've shown for you today produce. You'll have to bear with us as we'll figure out if there's a best combination of settings and how those might change once all the features that are still planned eventually get added. By now you've probably seen a fair amount of volumetric clouds as part of this year's Citizencon, and are quite likely to see a bunch more. Because of that, and since I'm still an artist at heart, I leave you with this bad drawing of a cat instead of more epic cloudscapes. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Mark.
That's adorable.
I'm an environment artist at CIG. I am part of the planet team where my focus is on planet and asset creation.
So no, they didn't fly through it. Oh, come on. I want to see what it looks like when you fly through it. That planet looks bloody weird. That's all I'm going to say right now. It's not realistic at all.
We start by assigning ground textures to the terrain geometry. For this research and development desert biome, we chose a selection of different types of sand and soil. For additional depth and detail, we have the option to use displacement mapping. The next step is adding our first layer of ground cover assets. In our game, ground cover is any low-cost asset up to knee height, which does not require collision and allows us to use a lot of these assets to create a nice level of density. Here we use a mix of gravel, patches of moss, and dry grass. After that,
SAC says that's where the chessboards grow and are harvested. Oh yes, it's Chess Planet. Brilliant.
we finish the object scattering pass by adding individual larger rocks and arrangements of small rocks, which give the player a better understanding of how far away something is when walking, driving, or flying over a planet. For performance reasons, we use a range of settings like randomized rotation and scale values to get as much variety as possible out of the number of assets we created, to mimic a level of complexity that feels organic and comparable to what you find on Earth. Something that we have been missing on our current planets and moons are massive rock formations due to tech limitations. Some of these limitations have since been solved. For example, we are now able to render assets much further. Because of that, we recently kicked off a research and development phase during the production of the Pyro system to find workflows for the creation and distribution of cliffs. Full disclosure though, this is early in development and heavily work in progress, but we still wanted to give you a little glimpse of what to expect in the future. The challenge for us will be to figure out how we can make these assets look as good as possible from all angles. If a player walks up to them on foot, they must look just as good.
Welcome to Nevada. That's just Nevada, the planet.
Scale to our game. That's it for me. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of Citizencon.
Hello, my name is Özlem and I'm part of the Organics team. Today I want to talk a bit about how we build the different biomes on Pyro 3. Pyro 3 is a planet with very distinct biomes.
Ooh,
for example, we got the...
This is the one I like. Look at the yellow, like the moss. That's so cool. I love this design.
Acidic fields, different coastlines, and a lot more. When working on a biome, the first thing we do is to have a look at the concept art. We do an asset breakdown for all the elements we need to recreate the scene. By doing so, we get more information about what kinds of rocks and vegetation assets we need, the proportions of the assets in relation to the character, the distribution and frequency of those assets on
this planet's called Custard Planet. I love it.
the amount of coverage per biome on the planet. We can also get information about the color palette, the terrain colors, and what to scatter on the coast.
The planet of Fluffstard. Yeah, exactly.
Materials. We also try to reduce the amount of the asset packs because of performance and time constraints. Instead of doing 50 unique rocks, we can achieve the same result by using just 3 with our procedural scattering system, since the assets will be scaled and rotated randomly. After figuring out all the necessary elements, we start with the whiteboxing phase. This means doing a very quick mock-up of the scene by using very simple assets. The white boxes should just represent the shape and color of the final object. We do that to see
This planet's sponsored by Coleman's. That's mustard. That's not custard.
the whole look of the scene if we don't like the outcome yet. We can say, let's make the rocks 5 times bigger, or blue instead of red, and so on. Or we realize we need to do some research on a specific asset to solve it visually, which was the case for the moss, for example. When doing R&D on the moss, we were trying different shapes and sizes, and we also had to figure out how to do the moss strands that are covering the whole mesh. To make the workflow for the moss strands a bit easier, we used Houdini to procedurally scatter them. Otherwise, it would have been too time-consuming to place every single moss strand by hand, since there are several thousands of them. After figuring out how to do the moss strand, we still didn't like the overall shape of the moss, as it was a bit too blobby and yellow. We wanted something that looked a bit
Blobby. I love that word. Blobby.
with a moss blend on top instead. We broke up the moss shape even further because it looked a little bit too molten, and we added different kinds of moss strands to get a little bit more variety. In the end, all these things got us to a result that we were satisfied with. The usual approach to setting up a biome is to start with the largest elements first and work your way to the smallest one. If we take the moss preset as an example, we would start by adding the largest elements first, then adding some smaller moss patches around it to create a nice fall off. We continued with adding some flatter grass to make it sit nicer on the terrain. But then we realized we needed something bigger to bring the elements closer together, so we decided to add some high grass as well. The final steps are adding some ground cover like small rocks or tiny moss. As you can see, while building a biome, we need to do several iterations to get the best visuals. Thank you for watching.
Thanks to Seb, Maxi, and Oslam for showing us their work. So when we started looking at outposts and started really from a ground up on how to make it so that...
What do you think they're drinking? What's in those cups? Is it water or OJ? Is it whiskey? Probably. I think I would if I was sat there for hours. I'd just be like, oh, just give me something that's cool. Vote down below.
Adjustments.
Yeah. We've had outposts in our game for some time. You know, when we started to hear from an art side for what the design requirements are going to be, fundamentally thinking about these as modules, thinking about them as thematic modules and, you know, very specific, then, you know, already like the mind was going of like, okay, we're going to need a kind of like a paradigm shift in terms of how we visually present these. You know, what could these settlements kind of feel like? And, you know, as with everything with outposts, it's you know, it's a gameplay or it's a location archetype. It's the smallest, probably one of the smallest location archetypes that we have. And then in time that will lead to like, you know, villages and towns and...
Yeah. Thinking about how we wanted to push this forward, I mean, Chris has always talked about putting outposts into players' hands. And so we needed to think about how would this expand? How would the players be able to make these homes feel, you know, homes or outposts or even businesses feel unique for the way that they want to play? And then there...
It does look like Tatooine, you're right. It does. Prune juice. Prune juice. Prune.
Much better than what we did in Stanton, because with those we had to have them kind of on stilts and you know, just the points of contact were very limited for the ground.
Right. If I connect these modules together, how do we get something that doesn't feel like...
Well, I know that design, we came up, in particular Andreas and Dan came up with a long list of things, you know, okay, well, here's what we'll need in HABs, here's what we'll need, you know, for utilitarian, here's what we'll need for defenses, here's what we'll need for power and oxygen, life support, so on and so forth. So there was a very long list, and then it's how can we take those and make them feel unified and visually unified together.
Yeah. Fundamentally, the thing that probably got us the most excited is finally we've started to think about these as like unified settlements, you know, base building. So as you can see on some of the concepts, we deliberately presented early exploration shots in this kind of like semi-isometric view to see, you know, how does it feel if I'm laying out my base? How would these modules kind of, you know, tie together? And you know, it kind of got the team excited.
So is there going to be base building then, like in No Man's Sky or Fallout 4? I bloody love Fallout 4 and 76's building system. It's so bloody good. But yeah, that could be a thing then.
Module building and the module creation, we can jump to Christian, and Christian can talk in a bit more detail about the visual development process we did for creating the exteriors of these new outposts.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit
So, yes, there are apparently land claims already. You can already sell land plots. Wow.
all the primitives and all the primitive shapes into 3D. So as you can see here, we have a lot of variety, right? There's the cubic coming in, there's the cylinder coming in, the spheres coming in. For example, if I take this building over here and I duplicate it and move it around, I could just simply grab some of the other ones and combine them together. And you will see later on that this is one of our archetypes, or one that we pretty much liked, right? So you can see here already there's a lot of variety of entrances, maybe some garages, maybe some smaller entrances for those NPCs or for the players, right? And
so you can have a land claim and there is a ship that is a mobile unfolding base. What the hell? Wow. How much is that going to cost? I can imagine a lot, right? Damn.
First-person standpoint or first-person view. So we were not only creating those entrances, but also smaller details and very briefly looking into the modules. So what you can see here is the very first concepts for the solar panels, for example, or the top-mounted, the roof-mounted solar panels. In the background, you see some other nice details that we can then just pick and put on our buildings, right? And some of the very last that we did is then pretty much those. So those were one of the archetypes. And you see there are small buildings for housing or housing buildings. There are some building types that are more communal. We have some secondary and...
It was $850 last year. Jesus Christ. A very limited number sold. Damn.
How would they communicate with each other? So we have a kind of a radio tower, or some of those cooling devices. So if you imagine, maybe there's something underground. There's an even bigger facility underground because you're on a very hostile planet environment. So you want to store your...
Fuster Clock wants Biscuit Town in space. Ah, I could try it.
You are a kind of a farmer. So you see already this is the first archetype. This is more cylindrical. There are some storage spaces coming in here and there. So where would you store your oxygen or your water, gases, for example? All of this is just a consideration from our side. Going over to the next one, this is more pyramidical. So we were looking at also again the same materials, or changing up the materials. So now it is again more concrete, and the color palette is changing. There is some of the storage coming in, and going then over to the next one, it is again looking at different materials. There is some storage buildings that are not in one big storage facility, but it's divided into smaller parts. So you have to walk around your settlement and see, like, okay, I can put some stuff in here, but if I need something else, then I need to walk over there. And there is some playing around with some more entrances. And
I wonder if the end of this they're going to say, when they start building it, they're going to be like, it just works. With like a power generator in the background.
With different files for assets and props, and how they would fit inside this main architectural style that we wanted to see more involved, right? So just a very early version of the refinery, for example. But all of this in the end was given us the opportunity to just cherry pick the best ideas that we felt appropriate for this specific colonialism style, right? And where other people were able then to just grab the best parts and then use it in the actual game engine. Yeah, this was pretty much the concept development for the colonialism modules. I hope you have a great time, and wish you all the best for the next panels that are coming up.
Awesome, thanks Cristiano. So that pretty much covers the work we've been doing on the exteriors. So now let's jump to the interiors. So we pretty much had to follow that same ideation process that we did for the exterior, but now for the interior. Now, slightly more simple, we knew there was a few key areas that we needed to design. First, it was the social space. You know, this is basically these kind of communal hubs. We knew we wanted like that open kitchen, seating areas, windows, an area where people could kind of...
Okay, that is literally just the houses from Tatooine, right? It looks great, but it just reminded me of Luke's aunt and uncle's house, right? It's very similar.
You know, pre-manufactured. So we wanted actual beds, not racks of beds. So everything about this process was about, you know, creating good design.
Has anyone seen that video of the new Drake ship that's just it's just the Death Star, and it just blows up everything. Has anyone seen that? I saw it the other day. It was really fucking funny.
Something which felt fairly integrated into the core architecture. In contrast to that, we knew we needed technical spaces. You know, these could be used in the future to be, I don't know, soil processing rooms or anything really within a technical bracket. So this one was quite a tricky one because, again, we needed to describe a feeling of age and you know, a type of historical depth in this. So we tried a few you know, visual cues, like, you know, there's the physical tape deck, you know, the clicky buttons, you know, again, to give you that feeling of like, all right, this isn't necessarily like a modern technology level, you know. And then the last major visual archetype was engineering. So these are the type of spaces, it could be a power room or an engine.
So when this is going on, I wanted to talk about ship prices, because it's coming up in the chat right now. A lot of the ships are available to buy with in-game credits, and obviously those will get wiped if there's a server wipe. But any ships that you buy with real money, you keep forever. Those are tied to your account. Do I think that a ship is worth $850, let's say? No. I think that is too much money. I think past £100, that's a lot of money. And I understand that it's going towards helping create this game, but I'm betting they'll still be selling them after this game is finally released. I do honestly think it's too much. And that is a bit annoying. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a ship that is mine that I've bought and keep it no matter if a server wipe happens. But the prices are way too much money at the moment. And it is a digital thing. You don't physically own it. If they sent you like a model of it too, maybe that would be a bit better. But no, in terms of money and monetization of the game, I don't agree with how that is. Like £100 per year is reasonable. Yeah, that's definitely reasonable. You spend more than that on, you know, games every year, you know? I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that gets kind of thrown out when people are against this game, and in some ways I agree. The prices can be insane. But yeah, it's a kind of a touchy subject. I understand that.
Lot of exploration process of like what type of artifacts would you find there, you know, how did people used to decorate the house in this time period? You know, you'd still see patterns, surfaces, shapes in these independent outposts.
Yeah, even early.
So Steak Slim said the real money ships are pledges, and you do not have to buy them. Well, by pledging you are buying them, right? Like, by pledging £100 towards the game, you'll get a Mustang Alpha or a what is it, the Freelancer, that kind of thing. The Javelin is $3,500, and you can't use it. What? Yeah, and that goes to CS:GO skins that can sell for thousands of pounds, which I don't understand. It's like those new stupid transaction things online where you can buy a YouTube video. Like what? Some ships don't have a pledge pack. No. I mean that you don't have to spend money on them since they are available in-game. If you spend real money on ships, you are pledging money to the project. No, I understand that. NFT, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah. You don't have to buy it for money. All ships are for sale in-game. Are they? I thought that there were ships that were only available via paid money. And then they'd be added to the game later for the in-game currency. Typically, when a ship becomes flight ready, it takes around 3 to 6 months before it's available to purchase in-game with the money. Okay.
Chris, is we kind of went down that process of, okay, let's design this one independent outpost in a few different ways. Like, how could people have decorated it in many different ways? And it's quite a fun process because you basically create space furniture catalogs, which again are going to be ways for the developers to be able to dress and world build, but eventually maybe it's a way for people to decorate their own spaces.
Wait, so they're going to release like an IKEA catalogue and you'll have to build the furniture yourself? Amazing.
Again, the process is very similar. You think about the visual rule sets which would turn this into an outlaw outpost, namely, has it been taken over by hostile intent? Is the signs of combat, is the signs of destruction still present? The actual physical act of occupying one of these outposts, have they defended it, have they boarded it up?
Yeah, it could be any number of situations. Yeah, it could be outlaws are squatting here and they're operating it as a base, which makes it a potential combat space. Or is it, was it a potentially...
Sorry, I did the wrong one. Kubi says you don't have to buy an expensive ship, just steal it. Yeah, I guess you can do that. Literally, yeah, you can do that.
It's something that we really want to advance out into in the future, but...
Good night, Biggers. See you soon. For a stream, maybe Kingdom Come, I don't know, we'll do something.
Maybe it ties into the costumes that you'd expect the NPCs to be in there. So there's a huge amount of visual world building that we can do.
Once ship persistence is implemented, theft will be a big business. Oh my god, will you have like people stealing ships and then tearing them down and reselling them, or... That's going to be interesting.
I mean, that ties into the clan tags. Like, maybe you've just come from one of the space stations that, was occupied by a certain gang type, and then they sent you to a settlement on one of the surfaces of Pyro, and clearly it's been, tagged by a different gang. So you basically want that read and that consistency throughout. Now, one of the
hello, Simon. How are you?
I was quite excited about getting into was the idea of a trading outpost. We've been talking about, buying and selling for a while, but thinking about it in a frontier context, it's almost like the money's kind of worthless, but it's more about the ability to barter or trade. So fundamentally, I thought it'd be cool that if we kind of design a module which focuses around one of these trading posts. So within a planet, it's where, people would kind of, trek to and, barter or trade components and then go back. We was talking about the idea of if I had a farm in the middle of nowhere, like...
You'll get there, Fustercluck. You'll get there. And yeah, Simon, GTA Trilogy Remaster confirmed. Yeah, I'm excited. It's probably going to be released in November.
With it, and we did some visual exploration into what would a trading post be like on...
Oh, no, don't dislike the stream, no! Don't do it! Otherwise I'll do mouth noises!
The majority of the stuff around this outpost is pretty much junk. Spaces isn't at a premium, so they just keep it outside. Maybe it's rusting, maybe it's rotting.
SAC says, I've just realised that bloke is 1980s Phil Collins. It's been bugging me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is! What the hell? Yeah, he does. That's weird, right? Have you seen what Phil Collins looks like now? It's really sad. He's really, very, withered. I don't know what's happened.
What we've done so far has been a lot of franchise stores, actual companies that own, that are selling wares, who have customer service and stuff like that. And the idea being that out here, the experience is going to be much more different. It's not going to be that polished. Exactly. It's going to be much more of a personal interaction with somebody. So it's been really fun talking with, the AI and behavior guys to try and work out exactly like how is that dynamic supposed to work and feel like for the player.
All right, cool. So that was a little bit about the interiors of these outposts. So let's throw it over to Eric now, and he can go into a lot more detail into the visual design process we did for the interiors.
Hello, I'm Eric.
Ah, yes, Moby if he wasn't a predator. Fucking Moby. I liked Moby. Well, Moby's music. Until all that news came out about him. Twat.
The pre-production process works. The goal is to create an interior design for the homestead colonialism outpost. It was the first time we had to create a timeless design look. We have the objective to create something warm and with a cozy feeling interior. At the beginning, we started from this concept art made by Christian Dorwitz. We have a lot of information in there to inspire the interior design. In those interior, we have a specific zones. Social area, place to eat together, play game, leisure, the bedroom, place to relax, have a proper personal space, and of course, sleeping. The engineering room, the place for the building machine.
Just don't sleep in there, because if you do, you'll get trapped and never be able to restart and have to delete your character and get a new one. No. I'm hoping they fix that bug soon. Is that with every ship? You can't sleep in the beds at the moment. That's crazy, right? I would have thought they would have released a little hotfix for that.
That's helped to organize the zone. To create all of those areas, we need to do a lot of exploration and design. Social area. For those sketches, we want a centerpiece on the ceiling. Could be a light, fan, or whatever that could be cool. We feel the curvy shape of that space. Here on this sketch, I play with a very contrast values and a greenish color palette. That one is the best. Long vertical windows from the side, let the light inside a lot. After validation of the...
Wayne says, I've had to do a character reset with every ship I've logged out in. Jesus. That's really bad. They need to fix that.
I did a sketch over in a gray tone value. That helps to better organize the coloring phase, to make sure all the elements fit and will live together. After this, I like to do a 2D elevation concept. It's a good way to make sure all elements fit together and the ratio proportions between each of them. The final key shot of the social area brings it alive. Nice lighting comes from the windows.
It's Zubin. Hello. Here, what is this? Star Citizen. It's Star Citizen. It's a video game. I've done videos. They're quite popular on the channel, surprisingly. It's quite good. It's quite good game. Quite good game.
That concept is the perfect blueprint to start the production. The color lighting people food is there on this one. More close-up version on specific zones of the radial kitchen counter. Some explanation are had to properly convey the intent of each part. All the details.
Yeah, I've played Elite Dangerous. I played it on the Xbox recently. It's really good on Series X. It runs really well. Flying is great. Yeah, I like Elite Dangerous. I know that the On Foot update wasn't very good. I've heard a lot of negatives about that, but yeah, I really enjoy Elite Dangerous.
We again go back to the painting technique. This process again is key to send us in the right direction. The detail of the machinery, cabling, metal grates really help convey the ambience of the room, and also informs what players will have to do when they go to this place. For the technical room, we wanted to make sure the technology came through. Again, it's the same process where we start from manual painting to set the tone and then deep dive into color, elevation, and then the final key piece. To make the homestead a living space, the bathroom props are important to define the functionality of future.
It really felt like they were, Elite Dangerous devs were looking at Star Citizen, were like, we need to do that to keep up, and they just botched it, unfortunately. I mean, looking at it, it's like, it looks so cheap in comparison. They should have just stuck with the in-ship stuff, because that works well. But yeah, from what I've seen, it looks like a poor imitation, and that's sad, because I really like Elite Dangerous, and I don't want the game to be hit by that. Also, performance apparently sucks if you buy that new DLC.
Thanks, Eric. Awesome stuff.
Shown a lot of art and talked a lot of theory. We want to get into game.
Yeah, Star Citizen is out. I've done videos. Yeah, it's out. You can play it. You just need to remember it's in early alpha.
How it changes based off of what you do and how you have faction with the certain game. So here we are waking up in 400i.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is actually gameplay. Yay!
The competitor to the Constellation, doesn't compromise cargo for vehicle storage. It's faster, more agile than the Connie, and it can run with a smaller crew. So this is the captain's quarters, and then we'll go out and see a little bit more of the habitation deck, and then make our way to the cockpit. So this would be the social area that you can meet and eat and basically plan your next mission. And then
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
from here we'll go to the cockpit.
Cockpit. It's the small things. Ah! Yeah. Right.
We've come here for a mission to acquire an artifact. And you'll be making your way down to a trading post. So wanted to just give you a quick overview, and then we can start talking about the planet.
Oh, they're gonna fly through the clouds. Do it, do it.
A terrestrial planet has a very thin, breathable atmosphere.
Yeah, that looks like a new ship. I haven't seen that one before.
As you can see, some of those lightning strikes in the clouds, but yeah, very, very pretty looking.
So this is the first time we're actually seeing clouds above a terrestrial planet. You know, we went through quite a few iterations of forms. What we ultimately ended upon was something that felt quite dramatic, still believable in terms of.
Thank you, Benny. It's nice to see you.
But yeah, like it's showcasing a lot of the more recent tech that came online. Also, what we're seeing here is like some kind of distant thunder strikes. And what this is, it's kind of like a prelude to, you know, future weather features that will be coming on board, you know, and how this will tie into, you know, storms and ship handling, you know, due to the turbulence. And it's great seeing the, you know, the rain hit the canopy glass here, you know, we go through these clouds.
God, that looks insane. Just fucking look at that.
One of the things we really wanted to do is create these
Oh,
pockets in
oh.
clouds, so you're in these cavities.
Wow.
You get a glimpse of the terrain beneath you, but you know,
Wayne, what you're talking about looks like a scam. Don't do that. Just anything with crypto involved, just don't touch it with a 10-foot barge pole.
board as well. So, you know, it's a lot of optimizations been going on. So it's way more performant than previously it was. Also, like the level of.
Hey, Mangalore. I hope you're feeling better. I was also away for about a week due to feeling really ill as well, so I know how you feel.
It also gives you a great sense of parallax when you fly through these cloud sandwiches.
A cloud sandwich?
Yes. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're the meat.
You almost become a Jill sandwich.
Cheese of a cloud sandwich. So as we get out of the cheese,
It's not ugly. I like the 400i. It looks nice.
for me was, you know, terrain shadowing and terrain occlusion from the clouds. So you're actually seeing, you know, these large areas of occlusion cast onto the terrain. It's it just adds that depth. It just adds that believability to what we're seeing in the frame. And
Oh, she's a beast. Look at her. Oh, that looks so cool. It looks like really rusted as well. I really like that. It looks like a marauder, like, vessel.
Thunder in the distance.
So James Cameron, who's doing the run through, yes, that is his name. He will be taking us down to the outpost. The goal for us is to.
They got James Cameron to do this? No wonder it looks so bloody good.
Or even basically inhabited by a farmer or inhabited by a gang. So the goal is to have these act as different factions, and so that you can develop different rep.
No, I understand that. The origin ship's always very clean and white and kind of all shiny and look all fancy and luxury. I understand that. I really love how that looks, though. I'll be honest. Hey, effects on! Hello! Welcome into Star Citizen. I'm not playing. James Cameron is. Literally. James Cameron is playing right now. Have you guys heard about the new PC2 that's coming out, though? Because apparently this is going to run a lot better on PC2.
There, good landing. That was a good solid 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10, jeez.
Ian's a tough grader.
Yeah, I'd go 6 at least.
No one's ever got a 6.
Gotta watch me land, man.
So here we'll go down to the technical deck.
Yes, exactly. It reminds me of Padme's ship in Star Wars. Yes, I was thinking it looked like it was out of episode 3 or 2 or whatever, of that era. Yeah, I definitely see the inspiration there. William Shatner is going to space. He's freaking 90 years old. He deserves it at this point, right? He kind of deserves to go to space. To be honest, I love the story of Scotty, the actor of Scotty, when he died. Didn't he get shot into space? Wasn't that a thing? Was that a thing? I know it happened in the series with one of the characters, but no, I'm pretty sure that was a thing.
Ben, Paul, and John. I think the team did a great job on this. I think this is one of my favorite skins. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a new skin, just something that felt a lot more, suitable for Pyro, but...
Right, it's a skin, so no, it doesn't have to look like that.
To fit into these climates, and what we're seeing here is first boots on the ground, on Pyro. I think it looks great, especially in contrast to what we're seeing here is like actual AI on the terrain, walking about, going about their business. And is that an AA turret there?
It is. And radio comms towers and all these other elements that we want to make sure that are interactive for the player and allows them to go and explore or use to their advantage. We want them to be able to interact with these different items.
You missed the best thing. We're on a planet now, and we flew through clouds, and it was all rainy, and the ship had a penis.
See the infrastructure on the roof, but this large, beautiful, archway here kind of signifies.
Effects on. You towed your car. Oh God. Oh no. Are you okay? You all right?
Look great. Fits in with the art style beautifully.
The team did a great job on this.
And then we've seen the concept art previously in the day, and then here you can see it translated in game. And I think it.
This is Star Citizen. What are you talking about? This is Star Citizen. It looks amazing.
It's quite special to this art style, and you can see how that complements these archways that lead into other areas of the outpost.
So with the AI, we want to make sure that it's living, it's breathing. If you look back a little bit, there was a chef actually cooking. There's security guards here to make sure that they're actually protecting their investments, protecting their home from strangers.
This looks too good to be on PC, or to be Star Citizen. Yeah, it is Star Citizen, but it's running on the PC too, not the normal PC. That's why.
Want to be able to enter into.
We also got a quick shot at the loadout that James is playing. So it's a female loadout, but it's also showing the backpack, which is new. Also, some of the new hair as well, which is red.
Oh, thank God they're adding new hair. I don't like the hair that's in the game. There's no long hairstyles at all.
Acquire the artifacts.
And for the trading post, we wanted to get all of the junk on the outside as well, so the player can see it as they're approaching. We wanted, as many tops as we could, and you can see it's using the new soft deck shader, so these are reacting to the planetary wind.
Oh yeah, the PC2 does have a new floppy drive. They're actually using that. It's SSD floppy disks now, which is interesting.
Other thing with the trading post is, like Ian spoke about before, the inventory and what they'll be able to actually sell here will vary depending on where they're at in the solar system. Are they close to a jump point where they might be coming down and using this as a chop shop, or are they in a very rural area that's, they care more about the frontier lifestyle and being able to survive versus money.
We passed the kitchen as well on the way back there. That's the local diner for this outpost.
Yeah, I love this. I love this.
Also, so in the inside as well, we wanted this, kaleidoscope of colors and shapes. Like it's just literally the dealers displaying all the wares, everything they'll have outside in the open here.
Jabba the Hutt's in the next room. You'd have to wait. Hopefully they show him in this.
Well, welcome. Take a look. I'm sure I have what you want, and if not, I'll have something just as good.
Welcome, stranger. You want to see my wares? Hello.
Yeah, very good.
Just has his long coat on.
So after 5 million credits of disposable income, we get our first look at the Hadesian artifact, which is obviously going to be is sort of a super rare thing that you'll hopefully be able to start finding in the galaxy. Which is sort of, if you're familiar with the lore of Hades, was an old civilization that destroyed itself. So somehow this trader has gotten their hands on this artifact.
I really like that idea. Star Wars is canon in this universe, but it's just really far away. Why not? Same as Star... No! More gameplay! I don't want to watch you sat around a table. Show us more gameplay, goddammit! Oh... I'm annoyed now. I want more gameplay. To be honest, I think this should have all been in gameplay with them using FOIP. They should have all been using the face system that I always use. That would have been amazing. Oh, gameplay!
A bit and show off a different way of entering into the trading post. This is a little bit more straightforward versus in Demo 1 we took a side route through the social area.
So yeah, this is just some additional warehouse space that the trading post would have, and you can see it will lead directly onto this courtyard.
Wait, they actually did FOIP in the last Citizencon? That's amazing.
Been eaten yet?
The grill master would be fired.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying this, please leave a like and comment down below. And all those cycling. Look at that. Look at the lighting and the clouds and the smoke and it's beautiful.
We just want to make sure that it's filled out with items, filled out with different things that you can interact with and possibly buy. It's like Dave said in the beginning. We want the stores to feel different here, but it's still making it feel believable.
Quick reference to some additional traversal areas there on the right when we came in.
Well, welcome. Take a look.
Welcome,
Sure I have what you
stranger.
want, and if not, I'll have
Please just add a character from Resident Evil 4, right?
Yeah. The guys had a lot of fun dressing these areas. There's a lot of storytelling going into it.
There's also a lot of frames going into
not
it.
to pay the price.
Oh!
And we don't mind losing reputation with the faction, and decide that we're going to take the artifacts through betrayal.
So these aren't armistice zones. Oh, interesting.
So here we've got different routes for the players to enjoy and to use to to flank and also navigate around. So each area will have different
Thank you, Benny.
secondary and tertiary routes of navigation. James was really just trying to scare him there versus actually kill him.
That was intentional. Good shot, James.
You could also, if you notice real quick,
Bloody James Cameron, god damn it. Oh, it all went downhill after he made Titanic.
see another coming up, but it's super cool.
So again, here the player will have the choice, you know, do they actually want to interact with the civilians? Or, you know, does their conscience get better of them?
I think James made the right choice there.
He was nice, yeah.
One of the things when we was playtesting this a lot is when we see the enemy AI kind of fanning out across the terrain like that, it's fantastic to see. It feels really great. Just seeing the base start to wake up to you and actually trying to exfiltrate. Also, I know it's under you know, combat stress, but that yellow grass just looks fantastic. That's how I play.
So here, James just wants to get out real quick.
Are there going to be AA turrets that they have, though? Because someone mentioned earlier they saw a turret, right? It'd be cool if they sent like pirates or like not pirates, police or something after him.
First walk through, this is where the AA turrets will come alive, and basically, if you're not fast enough, as James isn't, with your countermeasures, then they'll take you down.
That's so cool! Oh! Well,
So
they're
what
dead.
we saw there was the player went in, and based off their actions, the faction changed against them, and then basically became very aggressive. So in this last playthrough, what we'll show you is if the faction is already against you from the very beginning, and what are different ways that you can go about it.
Jesus.
So here we are in our last walkthrough. Since you're all by yourself, we want to...
That would not be me. I will not blow up. Thank you.
If you were with friends, you could go in guns blazing. But this allows the player to come in, access the outpost from a different side than what we've shown. It also allows them to clock all the AI and see how they want to approach the problem and see what other secondary or tertiary routes would be open to them, either via the ladder or maybe a possible door.
Good night. That was a great shot. Also, one thing we did as well, as Todd said, you know, we changed the time of day. The wind is slightly stronger, so you'll see the gorgeous yellow grass blowing just a little bit more intense than before. Also, what we're seeing here is like something to imply at the frontier living. You know, maybe they're growing crops or vegetables out here, but it also gives a kind of like a soft cover approach to the perimeter of the base. Nice.
Also, with it being a different time of day, this allows us to show off the AI having their 24-hour schedules so that they can be in different areas when you approach.
All right, Kingdom Come Deliverance. Jeez. They really do need to work with Warhorse again. Because I think the clothing and the infantry system was shared originally.
That door's locked.
It's okay, Lardak, so am I.
Way. But what James does actually see here as he's scouting out the next AI is...
frame rate looks about 60 right now.
As I said previously, we wanted as many kind of like... views in to the base as possible. just so the player can continually keep context of what's inside.
But also when you're inside, it allows the player to have context of where they're at within the actual outpost. And that was a great shot.
The AI fell beautifully on the already called out beautiful yellow grass.
You could be a
and moss.
peeping Tom. Very, yes. Yes, you
So
can.
as James is looking back, what he's doing is actually making a mental map of possible routes, possible advanced traversal routes on top of the outpost.
This is brilliant. This is what I want. This is what I want to be able to go in without having to worry about the armistice zone. You can't have as many options. I like this. It just depends on how good the AI is, because
And we
that
saw the
makes
dealer
and
there in
breaks
the
stealth
bedroom.
games.
Just end of the day.
So with each outpost, there'll be different routes that will be open to the player or closed to the player. So some of them might have ladders on the outside, some of them might not. Some of them might have basically ways to get in through the floorboards, other ones won't. But this is just one version of, many possibilities. So here, the player will take a secondary route of navigation all the way up to the roof, and then from here, this allows them to be able to check out any of the AI, also be able to look at any of the interactables in the future. If you got a good reputation, maybe you need to go and fix different items on the roof, or if you are there for nefarious means, then maybe you want to take out the power, and which will then kill the AA turrets, or will turn off the lights in the outpost. So it allows the player to interact with different items, and then basically create a nice little sandbox for them to play in.
Yeah, this all comes down to AI, I think. Obviously, this is not a scripted video, but it's planned, it's pre-planned. I hope that the AI is this good in the actual final release of this.
Just kind of empty, and to just illustrate like a guard point. In the future, these could be maybe customizable, or they could contain like an AA turret, like we saw on demo 1, or it could contain like cargo storage.
I mean, Deathloop AI is awful from what I've seen. I've been playing Far Cry 6 a lot recently, and that's actually really good. I've been really enjoying doing stealth in that game.
As well as the inventory system. So this will be shipping in 315. This allows bodies to be able to be interacted with and take off the items associated with it. Also,
that's cool.
Change. You will no longer have global inventory, so you can't be pulling off weapons that you didn't take with you to this location. Everything will be regarding what you carry is what you have, and so it really makes the players think about how they want to approach the problem, and then also encourages them to look around and see if the designers and have placed different things that they can interact with or use to help get past a certain route or a certain way that they maybe didn't bring with them.
No AI will beat Sam repeatedly walking into gunshots in Mafia 1. He got hit so many times in that game, it was ridiculous.
Carrying everything on your body, and it's not sort of universal inventory, you'll be able to consult this app to see kind of where stuff is being stored and keep it better organized and stuff like that.
Alright, Half-Life 2, jeez. I haven't actually got that gun yet. I know that's a thing you can do.
A little bit more interaction, and then allows them to go on to what I would consider a tertiary route, versus climbing up the ladder and possibly having to deal with the AI or them being spotted by them. Also, I think the team did a great job on the planet as well as the outpost. These are really fun to play and sneak around in, and you know, allows for many possible, you know, ways of attacking the same problem.
Just imagine the Ubisoft team getting their hands on this engine or the game and just having whole worlds full of little map markers of little pick-upables. You know, imagine, you see how fucking full Assassin's Creed Odyssey is of just map markers. Imagine a whole planet.
You know, we're seeing this god routine here. And then ultimately, you know, throwing an item to distract the god.
Ah, yes, but can you jump off and hit him in the head with a machete or whatever, like in Far Cry?
To go and access new areas. It's a behavior that we're still working out, but at least we're seeing like the first iterations and be able to continue to optimize it as well as make sure that the behavior is working properly.
So we just saw that for the first time. It's like the first rooftop airlock hatch. So previously, route in and out, if the outside wasn't pressurized, like we wouldn't have this option. But now through that rooftop airlock, you can cycle and then, you know, infiltrate through the roof. And also, what we're seeing here is, you know, potentially scouting out an advanced traversal up into the rafters. You know, getting on top of some infrastructure and getting like this overview as we go into the garage module.
Yeah, this is insane.
So here, this
wow.
is a placeholder, but it gives you it gives you an idea of, you know, we want to have different interactables, different loot boxes laid out around the location. So if the players explore, they'll be rewarded. You know, we want to encourage them looking in every nook and cranny and enjoying, you know, what the outpost has for them.
And one of the things that's interesting is these garages won't be vehicle spawn points, so it's not like a big kind of like pad in the middle, but it's more like, you know, if you want to have your vehicle there, you got to drive it in and park it. So here you can see a variety of vehicles just laid out how the player would have just parked them. Just gives a much more believable and realistic design.
There may be a Mafia 3 stream soon, because I've got it on the new PC and it's running like about 100 FPS, so it should be able to be streamable. And that's a game that people have asked me to play quite a lot. So
different navigation, different routes for the player to go and see. Over to the left, back there, there was a possible way of going into the floorboards or going underneath the outpost. Again, those will be opened up or closed off based off of, you know, just how we want to build the outpost. Not every one will be built the same. Our philosophy for these are to make sure that each one of them feels unique, and this is just one way of us customizing it and making each one feel different. And so the player won't always be used to the same routes. So here, again, we're using the inventory system. We allow the players to go in and...
well, thank you very much, Benny. Love you, Roxy. You gotta go. I'll rewatch later this evening. Take care, my friend. Take care, too. You too. See you soon. Bye!
Interestingly, when we was designing these spaces, we knew we wanted these internal airlocks, but we knew we needed some sort of like view.
This game will never be playable. It is playable. I played it. It's on the channel. It is definitely playable. Sometimes the frame rate's a bit poo, but it is playable.
We got some ragdoll bugs. I guess it wouldn't be a Citizencon without any sort of issues or bugs.
No, I don't date things, because I know that if I date anything, people will be like, oh, it's happening on this exact date, and then I'm like, if I'm feeling ill or if I have one of my headaches, I can't decide when those are going to happen. They happen randomly, so I can't say for certain. I'm not going to say anything, because if I do, I'm going to put myself into a hole and then have to do a stream where I could be having one of my nasty migraines. But follow me on Twitter, obviously. There you'll find out when I'm streaming.
How to navigate through them, it's very much
And yes, Star Citizen video is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, but the day after, definitely.
What the player can actually do is work out roughly where they are in relation to the to what's upstairs, and what you see in here, like this light bleeding down through. You can kind of make informed decisions. Or okay, that's where that AI was, or right now the player is just underneath that main social.
I could do another Mafia Titanic video. I'd have to re-download everything though, because obviously I've got a new PC now, and I have to re-find the mod.
These spaces not necessarily like very easy to navigate, because there wouldn't be a lot of light down here. The player would have to follow, for example, like James is following the blue wire here, making a decision to like, hey, if I follow that blue wire, I'm probably going to get to something interesting, or a point where I can actually exit this subplot space and get back up above.
And what I like about them is basically just the claustrophobic feel of it, and then obviously the addition of possible secondary or more advanced navigation. So either going into
yeah, this game is massive, hence why it's taking so bloody long.
So here we've come out in the bathroom space that's on the other side of the garage, so we're on the opposite side of the outpost from where we just were.
That's amazing that they have routines like that. That's so cool.
And now the body drag in the shower.
So here, this is just a different wrapper on a loot box. In this case, it's a hamper. And so the player will be able to really change outfits and adjust the way that they look, so that they can walk around the outpost and not be noticed. There will be kind of a certain time limit associated with it. We still need to work out the details on how all that will work, but the goal is to give them a little bit of leeway, and so if you look the part, maybe you're not scrutinized as much, and the AI won't.
That's so cool. So you can disguise yourself.
Won't notice you as quickly.
You want me to order makeup for Boris? You do realize he's an elephant, right? I don't know if that would work. You have some fancy eyelashes. That could work. Actually, that could work. Yeah, you can flutter them every now and again.
Speaking of fun ragdoll physics.
That was a great one.
So here, the player decided to take the dealer out instead of actually figuring out how they could open up the safe. So they're going to have to look around the room. They're going to have to interact with the body and possibly see, is there a way for the
giant lipstick? Yeah, like a makeup tutorial on an elephant.
Maybe the safe will be hackable in the future, and in some cases it won't be, and then you'll need to figure out a different way of actually opening it.
So here we spot a little clue, a little note, and you'll notice the what's fun is like the name on here. If you look back and see the some of the AI being taken out, you may notice some names. So here's the clue for the player. But one of the coolest things for me here is the player is holding an item with the clue, and while holding the item, they can seamlessly interact with another item to solve a puzzle. That's awesome.
And then here we got a little bug. The player was able to acquire the artifact, and then
if this is available for every outpost with this amount of detail and not just copy and pasted, because I'm worried that might be the case, or there might be a couple of different scenarios. I hope they're this detailed and varied. I really fucking love that, though. That was really cool.
But now, like, having that sort of striking that balance between, this sort of well thought out social space and construction of these locations, but also an equally effective stealth and combat thing. It's super cool to see.
So after seeing the demo played through, 3 different ways, it was a huge team effort. So everyone that worked on the project, on this part of what we wanted to show, we want to say a big thank you, a big shout out, because we're just presenting it. It's the people that did a lot of the hard work that should be represented. And speaking of people doing hard work, now's a good chance to throw it over to Eddie and Joel, and they're going to tell you a little bit more about the how we built that outpost that we just saw.
Okay, when they're going through this, I'm feeling so tired right now. Not because of this, it's just I had iced coffee, and coffee has an opposite effect on me. It doesn't make me all energetic, it makes me tired. Probably because I've drank so much Coke in my life and had so much caffeine, it's just a part of me at this point. And I had to shower literally about 10 minutes before this stream, so... God damn it, I'm so tired right now. Wake up. I'm feeling better. Today's the first day I've actually been able to breathe through my nose clearly, even though I breathe through my mouth generally in real life, but which is a weird thing. I've always breathed through my mouth, but I'm actually able to get air out of my nose, which is the first time in about a week.
On the Sandbox team is we have a lot of people who are passionate about concept and design, which means when translating from concept to production environment.
Wait, so I'm seeing in the chat Female 007 was blown way out of proportion. Wasn't she, I haven't seen the movie yet, but isn't she literally a replacement for Bond when he's off? And that's all it was? And fucking butthurt people are like, no, we can't have women! Because that's how it always goes, isn't it? No, it isn't his replacement. Yeah, that's what I'd heard. Bloody hell. People are idiots. And who cares if they do end up adding a female Bond at some point? It doesn't matter as long as the film's good. As long as the story's good and it makes sense in terms of the plot.
One of the biggest challenges with the new outpost is how we introduce variation between each location the player will visit. Building each as a bespoke set of buildings is impossible, as we want hundreds, if not thousands, of outposts in the game eventually.
Oh, that's a good point. Fallout 4. It would be cool to see some Fallout 4 streams and videos playing Sim Settlement 2. I haven't actually played the quest yet. I have it, but I haven't activated it yet, so I could do, and the game runs flawlessly on my new PC. I'd always have issues where Diamond City would be running at about, 20, 30 frames a second on my last PC. Now it runs at 60 pretty much constantly. So yeah, I may be doing some Fallout 4 streams. Definitely.
All the way down to smaller room modules that can be connected together in different ways to form a complete headquarters building. After pre-production was finished, we had a list of the room module types that we wanted to tackle first. For the headquarters building, everything hinges around a hub module with different room modules that can be attached to extend the structure. The room modules will serve different functions in the base, with various gameplay systems linking one to another for an interconnected web of sandbox gameplay opportunities. As content creators for the Outpost, we needed a new system to build, edit, and manage the library of modules we're creating. Rastar is the tool we'll use to do this. It allows us to intuitively create a location template directly on the surface of the planet. Not only this, but headquarter buildings can be snapped together directly within the tool, or with an intuitive user interface. One of the other major innovations with the Planet Tech has been the ability to modify the terrain mesh and flatten areas of terrain. Previously, we were at the mercy of the terrain when it came to designing our buildings, which is why our outposts had to be built with stilts and placed in naturally flat areas of the planet. Now, we can build...
Effexon asks, did I get the makeup fund? Wait, what?
We believe
Hang
our
on.
outposts inject
I'm refreshing.
experience into Star Citizen.
No, I've not got anything on the old PayPal that I can see.
The new art style, the focus from design.
No, nothing on there.
Flexible modular approach.
Where did you send it? Did you send it via the post to Boris?
Creating a wider variety of design experiences for every outpost the player comes across.
Oh my god.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Joel.
Why don't they make the next Bond a gamer? A chubby, greasy body with toddler strength and rarely showers. Cliche and a half right there.
Asian culture from
Dorito dust all over them, yeah.
I'm Corey Bamford, lead props artist at Cloud Imperium Games. I'm here today specifically to talk about the Hadesian artifact that you'll see in the walkthrough. So we knew early on we wanted some sort of MacGuffin for the walkthrough. We originally had a few ideas of what that could be. Originally it was either going to be a tablet fragment, a sculpture, or a Hadesian artifact. So initially the concept team explored a variety of ideas. We used a lot of reference for existing alien artifacts in the game, as well as reference from the real world. You know, lots of tomes and ancient kind of Egyptian stuff as well, just all sorts of really reference just to get a general idea. We knew we wanted to integrate some form of ancient power or technology into the asset. We also knew we wanted it to have some sort of symbolism and text. So once the concept team iterated further on these ideas, they then presented those back to Chris, and we narrowed down the selection of assets.
Steak Slim says if they are covered in Dorito Cheeto dust, they can be called Agent Orange. Oh no. And Effexel says it acted up a bit. Oh. Is it my end or your end? I don't know.
Solutions within the engine to achieve the visual target of the concept. Obviously, it's not as simple as just taking the concept and replicating it. We have to think about the shaders, we have to think about performance. Our job really is to find a solution within the game engine to achieve the visual target of the concept. Once we've figured out a strategy for achieving the look, we begin to actually make the content. So, for the art...
Secretly, it's actually a fragment of the Stargate. A very tiny Stargate.
Holder into the game for the design team to actually implement as an entity. We also then figure out how the scale actually works in the player's hand and when they inspect it. For the artifact, there was a bit of back and forth between the size because we wanted to get a balance between it having prominence and also being easily carryable. After we figured out the size of the asset, we then need to actually break down how we're going to make it. So the first thing we really get into is the materials. We know that this asset is made of a few different materials. Firstly, we have the stone with the complicated glowing pattern. We also have these large copper structures and some smaller, thinner metal structures as well. For this asset, we knew we'd need to use unique textures just because of the amount of detail we wanted to achieve. One of the biggest challenges we had was making sure that the stone looked really good. To create the stone, we started with...
Having played it, I can definitely say it's not a Frolster game. It definitely isn't. Yes, it's taking a long time, and I completely agree that I'm dubious as well in some aspects, especially when it comes to prices of some of the ships. But it's not your simple 3-year game build. You know, it's not. They're planning this on becoming a living, breathing world, and that's going to take fucking ages. I mean, that's par for the course at this point, you know.
And then got the edges of that quantization to create the rings. And then we used a procedural mask as well as some hand-painted textures to mask out that glow. Once we were happy with this texture, we multiplied that onto the height map, which is used to drive the glow threshold. The glow effect has 3 texture inputs that we need to create. There's an animated glow map, which is sort of used to drive the background effect of the glow. There's also a gradient, which colors that.
Hey, Daniel. To be honest, with this stuff, I kind of wish they'd done more gameplay. I mean, this is for the people who are into this kind of stuff, like people in the games industry and stuff like that, and people who do design. This is really interesting. But for the majority, which is going to be people like me and a lot of gamers, this isn't involving. It's not. When they showed that gameplay, it was fantastic because they were talking over it and they were commentating on it, and it was really interesting. I wish they'd done more of that, and I'm kind of hoping that the ship segment's going to be like that. But right now, I'm a little bit... Yeah.
Introduce Pyro and show all the hard work that all the team's been working on and working towards. The team has put in a lot of hard work in building the Pyro system.
Big thank you to you, Effexon, for sending £20 on PayPal. Thank you very much, Effexon. You're absolutely amazing. You're incredible. And I will be buying the makeup for Boris the Elephant. That's going to be a hell of a time. I need a step ladder. Right.
See you in the verse.
Exactly. This game is such a rare case. No game has this amount of scope. Like, this is beyond anything we've seen before. And having played it and experienced those small moments of just absolute awe, you can't put it into words. It is incredible. Pretty fant. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm excited for what's coming. So the next show is in 15 minutes. It's Ship Talk, not Shit Talk. I know someone out there's going to say that's what I said. In this year's Ship Talk presentation, reveal John Crew, Ben Curtis, and Paul Jones reveal new and upcoming ships and delve into their journey through production. So I'm assuming it's going to be kind of the same as what we just saw, but with the ships. And provide some much anticipated updates about a fan favourite vessel. Now that's the bit that most people are going to be interested in. I just wish you could skip. And I know it sounds bad, but it's just not really in my interest. I want to skip to the good bits. And that's probably the people who watch this when it gets uploaded to YouTube in 4K or whatever are probably going to have done that. But yeah, I want to see the anticipated update to the fan favorite vessel, and I also want to see any new ships they can show off. I really want a Star Trek inspired ship. I think that would be amazing, and I know I wish that they would just work with Star Trek. I'd love to see the Nova class or the fucking Galaxy class or something, because I think they could fit in this universe. I don't think it's too out of absurdity, right? Anyway. At the live Citizencon, they had different scheduled panels with this stuff. Exactly. So you could choose to go and see what you wanted to see, as opposed to them showing you everything and only some of it's to your interest. So yeah, I can understand why. I liked Discovery, not Season 1. The Season 1 was terrible, but it got a lot better, and I really do like the Discovery ship. A weird thing, actually, I played Star Trek, I think Shattered Universe. It's on the original Xbox and PS2. And in that game, George Takei, aka, not Chekhov, oh crap, my brain! I can't think of his name. You guys know. Anyway, he owns his own ship, the Excelsior. And there's in the game, the plot is he ends up flying the Excelsior to save another ship and gets transported into the mirror universe. Sulu! Yeah, Sulu. So Sulu and the Excelsior end up going into a parallel universe. The animation that they use to show the ship transporting into the parallel universe, it's exactly the same as the Spore Drive animation in Star Trek Discovery, where it spins really quickly and then stops immediately and then flies forward. It's exactly the same animation. That must have been where they got the idea for it from, because it's exactly the same. And that game came out, what, 2004? 2003? But yeah, I like Discovery. I like the ship. A fun thing about the ship from Discovery is that the Discovery itself, that was one of the very first designs that they made for the Enterprise back in the 60s, which I find really fascinating. And people are like, oh, I don't like it, it's not Star Trek. It literally is. That's the most Star Trek ship there's ever been, you know? because that was one of the first ever created. I don't know. I find that fascinating. Is that Commander Will and Kate? I reckon that's exactly the same outfit they always wear in their videos. I don't think it is, but that's cool. Anyway, the aesthetic of Star Citizen is more Wars than Trek. Yeah, and I'm not big on Star Wars. I'll always be Trek over Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars is fun to watch. It's just I never got as involved with Star Wars that I did. Star Trek for me is just perfect. It's the best sci-fi show ever. TNG you can't beat, you know. Doctor Who was very close second for sci-fi. Actually, I don't know. I would say they're on the same level for me. I like that there's like store adverts. Hang on, I can turn this up.
Picked up and have already charged you. Want something hot and ready to go? How about hot dogs, nachos, or burritos? Kelto! We've even got the latest in Gemini ballistic weapons, like the Gemini F-55 LMG, featuring an explosive rate of fire that tops over 1,000 rounds per minute. It's the best light machine gun you can get in a convenience.
Goodbye, effects on. Thank you very much for the donation. That means the world.
Pistol, perfect for those small hands. So come down to Kelto today for quality products at low prices.
So that may have been Will and Kate, Commander Will and Kate, then in that other stream.
Welcome to Citizencon 2951, our yearly celebration of everything Star Citizen is, and showcase of what Star Citizen is on its way to become. As usual,
I really like this guy,
Jared Huckabee.
He's very.
So what is Citizencon? When it started,
he's very enthusiastic. I really like that.
It had its humble roots in Sandy just wanting some place to bring folks together, and a solid excuse for Ben and Pete to watch the Wing Commander movie in a theater in Austin, Texas. But as with all things Star Citizen, it grew each year to become a full day of activities, most recently held in Manchester, England in 2019. Now, with a hiatus in 2020 due to the pandemic, and our desire to remain diligent and responsible in 2021, Citizencon is back as something slightly different this year. Now, while it won't be the same without seeing all of you in person, and worrying if your plastic bag helmet is safe or not, we hope this year's event brings with it a similar sense of community and interaction, as our developers present to you their continuing efforts in bringing Star Citizen's future to the present.
Yes, leave a like.
And let's talk about some of that future we just saw with a look at we just took at the Pyro system. Now, I've always said it, and I'll continue to always say it, we get better with every one of these things we do, whether that's
Oh my god, he does look like Mick Foley. You're right. What the hell? We had fucking, what was it, Phil Collins, now we have Mick Foley.
Of converting our existing space stations into new outlaw variants, taking those colonial outposts that we've been seeing before from concept to amazingly detailed reality, and perhaps most excitedly, planetary AI nav mesh in action with a 24-hour day-night cycle that will truly bring these worlds to life and provide that universe of gameplay possibilities seen in those multiple different ways you can go about achieving your objectives. And for those of you who were wondering, yes, that was really Pyro 3, that was a real outpost and a real mission. No sandworms here. That's what's coming to Star Citizen and a whole lot more. Now, because I'm the patron saint of bad ideas, let's take a look at some of the comments that came in on Twitch while we were all watching. This should be good. Engion says, using talent from across the globe, that's a good thing. I agree. Adderdoth says, this guy is talking like it's been made. DFX2KX says, they probably have the gameplay, but they want to force folks to stick around and watch the whole thing before they show it. Annoying, but typical for them. We are who we are. We showcase every part of the Star Citizen. Rolana says, someone needs to hand out some meds in chat. Underfern says, I wouldn't buy a melty dog from that man. I don't know if they're talking about Todd Pappy or Ian Leyland, but agreed. Lots of people said, 420 Space Weed, Vape Nation, damp, dank.
Oh, God. Wow.
Gaming Fortis says, just remember, he's more scared of you than you are of him. That's the truth. And then everyone went on a claim spree for a while. James Cameron, yes, the real James Cameron.
Yeah.
He does exist. Yeah. And then finally, Shorty Mac said, number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus. But as it turns out, that might be what you get.
Number 15.
Wise words, always. You can always rely on the Twitch community. And speaking of community, you may have noticed a selection of community-created videos throughout the day, ranging from commercials to skits to a variety of things in between. Those are all here as part of an effort by our fantastic community team that started months ago to include as many of you in today's festivities as possible.
Why didn't they contact me?
While we can't show every single one that was sent in, the team did expand their original idea of just 15 videos to a whopping 42 for today's show. So you're going to see a few more as the day progresses. Now, of course, Citizencon wouldn't be Citizencon without the swag. Check that out, huh? Yeah. And this year, we've got it coming in 2 shapes and sizes. First up is the digital goodies pack seen here, which comes with the newly minted Arden SL Balefire suit you may have seen recently on Inside Star Citizen with that slick Theta Geo helmet. It's got the matching Balefire combat knife because accessorizing is always important, and the classic Citizencon 2951 trophy, which I'm still trying to convince Actor Feature Team to turn into a bludgeoning weapon. Just say Red 1 one more time, people.
I really like Babylon 5. I watched it with my dad as a kid. It was really good.
Been on the fence so far and decide to back the project today, you'll get it along with everybody else on Monday.
Yay!
Now, over in Meat Space, since we can't do the traditional swag bag that's included for attendees with their ticket, we're doing a swag box.
Hang on. I didn't pledge to get the game. Someone sent it to me. Do I still get it?
An individually numbered challenge coin that says there are many like it, but this one is yours. Now, both collector's items come in a neat box and bundled with stickers that you can place all over the place, like Steve Bender's desk. I know, because I did. Now, the swag bag made box is available now on the robertspaceindustries.com website. And we've also got some contests and giveaways going throughout the day.
How much is the ultimate question?
Astro Gaming Headset Contest, where folks hosting their own Citizencon watch parties have an opportunity to submit images on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag SCWatchParty to win a custom-painted Xenothreat headset seen here.
I don't think this counts, does it? It's just me. I'm just sat talking to you guys.
For those of you who don't do social media, we're also giving away some Tobii eye trackers on Spectrum today.
Tracker. I am feeling a lot better, Chris, thank you. I can actually breathe through my nose today, so that's positive. Wow. Magic.
For your chance to win. And no, I don't have one of those to show you because, as somebody said, I don't give things back.
$30 is okay, because obviously that would go up in price later on, because they're limited, right?
Or Life and Pyro presentation. Up next, we've got Ship Talk, where you'll learn about the latest and greatest in spacecraft coming to Star Citizen. Then we got Gen 12 and the multi-core Vulcan, where we'll take you through some of the new technologies that will unlock Star Citizen's ultimate performance potential. Crafting Worlds, which offers a brief look at some of the new tools that make up those wonderful Pyro planets we just saw. Server meshing and the state of persistence, which will give you an inside look at the process of expanding Star Citizen out to the breadth and scope we all want it to reach. The Sounds of Space, which for my money is the sleeper presentation of the day. Don't miss out. It looks at the new tools that will unleash our sound designers from the constraints of yesterday's outdated processes. And then finally, Systemic Gameplay and the Stream of Thought. An entirely silent presentation where Tony beams his brainwaves directly into your skull through the TV, provided, of course, you have your SGS brainwave amplitude receiver.
Oh, damn, I forgot it.
You all have your SGS brainwave amplitude receiver.
No.
Don't you?
No, I left it behind. Oh.
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, thanks.
Basically, it's a big, long day of Star Citizen presentations and infos. That Pyro presentation alone was like an entire season of ISC just crammed into a single day. Which makes me think, can I take the rest of this quarter off?
They're selling that 400i ship for £250 right now. Jeez. How are you on Far Cry 6? I'm loving it. It's really good. Video soon.
Each presentation will be going up on YouTube later today in glorious 4K. But fair warning.
Sorry, Chris.
Do not look directly into Todd Pappy's eyes in
Todd Howard?
4K. Or Corey Bamford's.
It just works.
They're mesmerizing. And that about does it for the housekeeping. It's time to throw it to our next presentation of the day. Ship Talk with Paul Jones, John Crew, and Ben Curtis, where they'll be discussing
Please let him do
a
it.
ship you know, a ship you don't know, and a ship you weren't supposed to know, but you ended up knowing.
What?
It's not invisible any longer.
Okay. Does it have a cloak? What does that mean? What does any of that mean?
Through unforgiving lands, across the impossible expanse, a mirage calls, a distant oasis. We chase what most consider myth.
They are really pushing the 400i, aren't they? Because that's the second time we've seen it. Look at that. That is really nice, though. I do like that ship. Yeah, they're really pushing this ship, aren't they? It's like, oh, it's available now. Go on, you know you want it. Is it flyable now, though? If I buy it right now, is it flyable? She is stunning.
By Origin Jumpworks.
Oh, thank you, Simon. See you next stream. I really love that ship. Yep, is it flyable now? If it's flyable, I'm actually tempted. Does anyone want to donate? No, I'm kidding. I'm not DSP.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So we made the 404
Yeah,
in the end.
It was a ruse all along. It was a real ship. So,
Look cool though. I like it.
Those trailers are always super cool to see the artwork from both your teams.
Really good job of kind of showing off what I think everyone's kind of...
Oh, no, I didn't realise that was just a trailer for the 400i. I thought that they were just showing off different ships, and it was just very prevalent. Now I obviously know that was a trailer for the 400i. Okay, that makes sense.
So, CRG?
And I'm Paul Jones, art director.
Older Phil Collins. Oh, God damn, he's back again.
So the 400i, it's a Constellation competitor, and we've got a few of these ships in this category across the board. We have the Constellation, we have the Corsair, and now we have the 400i. And the 400i has a few interesting features that makes it a compelling choice over the others. So being an Origin ship, it's obviously very visually sleek and fast, but also...
Hey, kids outside, hang on, I'll close my window.
Size-wise, there's obviously a big gap in the range. We have the 100 series at the start, it jumps up to the 300 series, then there's the big jump to the 600 series, and then another jump to the 890, so finding a space for this was fairly easy.
I thought the 300 was big.
I think it fills the gap quite nicely. So in terms of the process, normally what happens is we assign it to one concept artist, and we start the ball rolling, so it's really just a game of sort of exploration at this point. It's fast and loose. We always have a timeline for each concept, and so...
Ooh, I like that one. That looks like a bird of prey from Star Trek.
It doesn't matter how many ships we've done, there's always that pressure to get it done and hit the sort of key.
Oh, the one on the left there! Holy shit, that looked amazing! It looked like a really sleek TIE fighter.
Figuring out ideas, looking at shapes, looking at silhouettes, and sort of not locking yourself into a line of thinking. It's basically, we'll look at different ships. So some will be more influenced by the 600i, some more by the 100i, and then we'll sort of do a mix and match. And so, like I said, sometimes you don't quite hit it on that sort of, like right at the beginning.
Yeah, when you've got like a well-established manufacturer, it's really beneficial because you kind of you have that to pull from, but you also don't want to get into the point where it's just a scaled down 600 or a scaled up. Do you know what I mean? You kind of like, you don't want them all just to look like they're the same ship, just slightly different variants.
Yeah.
So I think the 400 is it certainly stands out within the lineup, but it's clearly an Origin ship.
And I think it's, I mean, because we sort of follow the sort of car manufacturers, don't we, in terms of the brand. It's sort of expanding the brand. Sort of the brand also develops over time. So we have like a double.
Yeah.
You know, since the start of the project, Origin has sort of slightly changed its style a little bit. And then, like say, you don't want just a mini 600.
Yeah.
Even though there's a part of me that would just be like, right, let's do a mini 600.
I do really like the
And it's
600.
like,
Yeah, the 600.
and even at this point, I kept sort of coming back to one original sketch that had been done for what was it? I think it was 100i.
Yeah.
There was a little thumbnail. It's literally, in my head, it's about that big. And the sketch is just teeny weeny. I was like, I kind of want a version like this. This looks kind of cool. And so basically, in the end, I just went in and kick bashed some ideas together.
So this was before my time on the ship team, so it's quite interesting
really?
to learn a bit more about the process.
Yeah.
A lot of
it's a great ship. It's my favourite one, Paul, in that case.
A lot of the little concept thumbnails get, if you see one, because we often show them in Jump Point magazines afterwards, after a ship's been released, you see all the early sketches, and people probably noticed that 100i thumbnail that we did that was rejected for the 100, but then has come round for this, and you never know what might happen with ones that we didn't choose for this one.
Yes,
Could happen in the
they
future.
might appear in future ships. So ultimately, this is what this is like a visual that I did. So it's it's throwing together a bunch of shapes.
Hang on. Chris asks, "How's your ground?" Sorry, I just have my pizza. I have
It feels like
it's got a cheesy sauce base. So like under one layer of bread is a cheese sauce, and then it's the base. Oh, it's really good. Cold. It's better cold than it is warm. It's weird. Chris asks, "How's my gran?" My gran is good. I spoke to her a few days ago. She's doing a lot better. They're thinking of moving her into supported living, because if she was to have another heart attack, obviously it would kill her. So they need to have her somewhere where she'd easily be able to be treated. Quadix, check your I'm watching a stream right now. God dang it! There's a hair on my desk. I'm fine. I was in one of the super yachts ships the other night. It's crazy. You mean the 890 jump? Yeah, it's fucking massive, isn't it? I have enough money in game to buy one, but it's going to get wiped in the next what? I don't even know when the wipe's happening. Probably at some point soon. I would assume so, right?
So in terms of this process, what happens?
What's your Twitter name, Quadix? Because I can't see anything from Quadix.
Get Chris sign off, do a couple of paint schemes, and then pass us over to your department.
Yeah. So from the concept, normally we'll kind of take it as quickly as possible into the editor.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right now, I wouldn't have minded if I tagged you. What, in a tweet? I'm not seeing a tagged tweet. No, there's no tagged tweets in the last few hours I'm seeing on here.
That might, that's not just because we'll add this and add that to it. It's sometimes the balance has been done in the game, and we've realised that a certain ship item, a certain size shield might not be suitable for it anymore, or it might be just.
Yeah, I wish that they'd got that guy who was on here earlier. Was it Jared?
Kind of the perfect ship for it, but that wasn't. I really like him. I think he's fantastic. I kind of wish they got him to do a lot of it. I know a lot of work for one guy, but
The name is currently making a what, your Twitter name? This is very confusing. You're confusing me.
The crew space is all upstairs with the bridge, obviously. Once we kind of get that white box in game, we then start just making sure that.
Oh, right. So I have message requests where people get dumped who aren't following, or I'm not following. I'm assuming that's how it works. I don't know. Here we go.
Chris was really keen for, although he didn't want this ship to be a
accept that
luxury party ship.
So you're making a Kingdom Come Deliverance server. Have you seen the Biscuit one that's just released, I think, hasn't it? I'm adding some of the story missions and some of the game mechanics that exist. Oh, that's cool.
You had, originally, I think on the concept.
I don't even know if I got Minecraft installed in this new PC.
Floor was a lift. You had the collar on the side, and then.
Oh, you're one of the builders. Oh, well done.
That had the suit lockers in, I think it was. Yeah, and the first bit of feedback from Chris was the entrance doesn't really feel very grand for an Origin ship, and that's when we kind of introduced the stairs and the kind of like. The staircase, but that sort of idea.
I don't want to be mean, and it's a little boring for the average viewer. I mean, obviously, in a convention, you can go to these different speeches and stuff, and you can watch these different things. But for like having everything in one video, where you can't skip through the bits to the bit you want to see, that's a bit. Yeah, and these will be made available, as I said before, on Twitter after, so you can do that. And I'm hoping that they can timestamp these. Kobe says, I really want to know. This part is losing me, and that's why I'm kind of just talking to you guys, because honestly, I'm sure it's really interesting for a lot of people out there. It's just not really my interest, and I did say that I wouldn't. This isn't just watching it. This is a talky stream as well. As Kayube says, I really want to know the fan favorite ship. My guess is the Polaris, Merchantman, or Kraken. Yeah, I've heard about the Kraken. Wasn't that what they called that Death Star in that fake parody video? Wasn't that called the Kraken? Yeah, it's missing the live energy the panel would have. Yeah, I can imagine in a panel they could throw in some jokes and they could make it fun and do some interesting things. But in a video format like this, it's just like watching some people sat around a table talking about drawings, which is, I understand, I get it. It's just not for me. This isn't for me. This isn't really my interest. I'm just trying to make the complete story mode in my... Jesus. You're trying to make the entirety of Kingdom Come Deliverance's story in Minecraft using the map from Amy's project. That's cool. That would be a lot of work. How many people are working with you? Huh. Only... Wow. I thought... The thing is, I thought that and I wasn't too involved. Obviously, Amy, me and her were dating at that point, so obviously I knew what was going on. But that... Wasn't that, like, going to have all those features? I'm guessing that stopped, or just it hasn't continued? I don't know much about it, to be honest. That's really, what's the word? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Impressive, I suppose, to be able to be working that on your own. Can you get any of the others from that team working and helping you as well? Isn't that a thing that could work? I'm guessing that's why you'd probably, if I was to make a video, which I don't know right now, because obviously I haven't got Minecraft installed and I really don't know how to mod it, to be honest, and do the server stuff. I'm assuming that would be like being like, hey, does anyone want to help kind of thing. Yeah. It looks nice. I really do like the design. And I know a lot of people are saying that the front of this ship is a little bit wasted of space. And yes, I can see that. I'm kind of... Hey, it's my character! That is literally my character. What the hell? I kind of hope that you could maybe put, like, storage and stuff in that little front section. It is a bit of wasted space at the front. And to be honest, I wish the ships had warp nacelles. I would like warp nacelles. I did see that the Freelancer had kind of like what looked like warp engines on the back, which looked cool. I just want a Star Trek ship. That's literally all I want.
Engineering. This ship does have large shields.
Yes. Yeah. So that was...
I like the interior.
Thing to make it different. Obviously, we've made changes during development to other ships, and shields have changed, so it's not quite as unique as it was, but it's still very well shielded for its size. And the other cool thing about engineering is those rooms at the edge are...
It's £225 in real money. I don't know how much in-game credit yet. We haven't said.
Gives all the teams
so we're going to have full dry ice and everything.
Full dry ice, yeah. You can get the
come in and
the light sticks out and
flow out.
A little bit of party mode in there, yeah. But yeah, I think that's it. That was one of the things I think you established early on in the concept was this kind of like cool chamber in engineering.
Yeah, because we needed that space. I mean, you need space to put all the components somewhere, and just thought, well, let's just turn it into a feature.
Yeah. So and it kind of fits with the Origin kind of family as well, I think.
Is the tame... Is the... Oh no, Quadix, that's fine. No, it's just I didn't see it. It was stuck in the middle of a ton of message request messages. It doesn't notify you of those, which is great. It's on the store page now. Hang on, I'll have a look. Hang on. Star Citizen. If you want to, when you're working on it, if you have any like pictures or whatever, share it with me, and I can share them with Warhorse and get them to post about it if you wanted me to. That's fine. Star Citizen pledges, because they seem to retweet what I post, which is nice of them. Where are you? Oh, these oh, I've turned the volume right down. Sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to turn it fully down. A Citizencon 2951 limited edition box is currently available. That is currently available for... Sold out. It's gone already. Wow, that didn't last long, did it? Are you kidding? Hang on. No, I'm just using Edge for this. Give me a second. Hang on, look. Look at this. Sold out. It's gone. Already. It's gone. What else do we have? Pledge store. We have fuel ships. Let's do Origin. Origin, there you go. 100i, 890, 400i. There. Buying options, $220. Damn it. The 400i and paints will be available in game in Star Citizen Alpha 3.15. War Bond version pledges cannot be purchased with store credit. And there's a couple of different ones. So I can upgrade my current ship, which is the Mustang. Mustang Alpha. Hang on. Can I not look it up? Hang on, all ships. Mustang, here you go. So that's the one I currently have. So I could get it for $220 US. Okay. It's, yeah. I know I'm not logged in, it's fine. I'm using Edge because it doesn't have all my bookmarks and stuff at the top. I don't want, that's kind of a bit personal. That's why I use Edge when I'm doing stream stuff. Truth is, the sale was rigged from the start. Classic. How long is this on for? They're going to wait until the end, aren't they? They're literally going to wait to the end to show this ship off. And this stream, this ship talk stream, is on until 8 PM, and it's currently 6:36. Come on. Come on. Personal, so forth. No! No, actually. Hello, zombies. How are you? I'm the fourth person at this table. I'm just sat there like, what's going on? I was supposed to be having an interview. What are they talking about? It looks really nice. Does it have a bed? Hang on, I didn't actually look to check. Hang on. Hang on, 2 options available. Wait, there's 2 options? War Bond Edition. What's that? What's the War Bond Edition? What does that even mean? Wait, there's a new ship? Hang on. What is that? I played Assassin's Creed 2. A really slow start. I didn't really enjoy it. Brotherhood I really liked. Revelations is my favourite of that era. Alright, hang on. Have I played every video game ever? Yes. No. I played Alan Wake to completion years ago, yeah. But yeah, Revelations is my favourite Assassin's Creed. Have you ever played this cool game called Kingdom Come Deliverance? It's sick. Go check it out. No, I haven't, actually. It's weird. The Anvil Raft. That looks really cool. Oh, the Valkyrie looks cool. I like the Valkyrie. I like the circle design.
So a lot of work has already been done for those ships. Kits. So in terms of a concept process, theoretically, it's really the same. And in terms of
I wanna go back to this. Hang on. 400i. Okay. So, does it have a bed? Will the bed work? Buying options. The War Bond. What is the War Bond Edition? I don't understand. They don't explain it. Media. No. Technical overview. No. It's lifetime insurance. That's good, right? Main thrusters. Missiles. Weapons. Radar. Computers. War Bond means fresh cash. What the hell does that mean? That just makes it even more hard to understand. What does that mean? What does any of that mean? The kind of the elegance of the corners of space, and with new money, or you pay more. What? What is any of that? Yeah, stream POV. You're just sat at this table. Alan Wake is remastered. Alan Wake himself has been remastered. Real money. But look here, look here, listen, look, hang on. No, that doesn't make sense, because look. No, go away, you media viewer. Look, view buying options, right? $220 US. That's real money, okay? And then you have the War Bond Edition, which is that's also paid. How does that? What? Hang on. War Bond pledges or War Bond for short, or WB. These are special promotions offered through the year that may include a price discount or special items. War Bond is paying for it, and the others is using upgrade or chase you have. I'll go for the War Bond one then if I was going to. If that was the one I was going to go for, that's what I'd do, right? Will I play GTA Trilogy Remastered? Maybe. I wasn't planning on it. It's not really like the focus of the channel, really, is it? I wouldn't mind taking a look at it. I'm hoping it's all on one disc. I know they're not going to be adding mod support, annoyingly, but you just can't trade towards War Bond. But if I was to trade against it would be the same price as War Bond. So, is there any point in doing War Bond? Straight from your wallet cash. Okay. Okay. My brain hurts, guys. My brain. Ow. You get $30 discount for paying cash. Jesus Christ. Normal equals cash from melting older shit. You can do that? What? Lardex, your legs hurt. My brain hurts. I just want to buy the ship. That's a lot of money, though. Okay. Okay. Because I wasn't going to buy a fit with money. I wasn't going to buy a ship, but I do want to have a ship that is mine forever. Because if there is any other wipes, I want something that I can call my own, and that I can name, and that I can fly, and that's my ship. You know? It's a bit complicated. Let's say you buy a $100 ship. Let's say you no longer want that ship. You can melt it into $100 of stored credit and use that credit to buy another ship. You can? I want to do that with my stupid alpha. I don't like my alpha. Can I just do that with my alpha? Just destroy it? Where's that option? That's cool. It's just, I've always been a bit iffy with digital-only content. But I know that's how games are going. I understand that. The Anvil Liberator, that wedge thing we just saw, $500. Go to ship upgrades or exchange it in your hangar. Hang on. I won't do this on stream, but hang on. Give me a second. Star Citizen. Star City. Yes, that's what I want. Play account. Account. Sign in. Success. Account. My hangar. Ship upgrades. Delete. Just delete. No, you can't. It's not just saying that I can delete it. It's giving me an option to upgrade to another ship. Which is, yeah, that's what I thought it was gonna be. Okay. You can upgrade the Mustang to any available ship currently on sale. Okay. Damn. Yeah, that's what I clicked on. Wait, where did that cool ship go? Yeah, but I just melted that. No worries. I don't really want to sit here for another hour and a half on the off chance that they're going to announce the new ship. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, Eric. Oh, good luck. Hopefully the cat's alright. $30 towards something else. Okay. I might go because I want to have food and I want to sit down and watch, I don't know, Star Trek or something. I don't know. Yeah, this has been a little bit not disappointing because there's been some stuff in here that's been really fascinating. Like that gameplay was really good, but they showed it right at the end, and I'm assuming they're going to do the same with this new ship that gets announced. I want to say a massive thank you for all of you that have been here with me today. I didn't know what to expect when I came into this, honestly, because obviously I wasn't a fan of the game because I had never played it until a few weeks ago. Just come back for Tony Z's talk, but when's that? When's that happening? The good part doesn't start until Zorek, or how you spell the name. Yeah, you guys mentioned that earlier. When is that even happening? Oh, there. Systemic gameplay stream of thought. Tony Zorovec leads a wide-ranging discussion. Isn't that what we're just watching now? I can watch that. I'll watch it in my own time, I guess, but a few first bits of quantum simulation? Jesus Christ. That's a lot of words. Tony's meatballs. Oh, yes. So when the live ends and then the server refresh happens... I don't think so. That was never talked about. The server refresh is going to come with update 3.15. Last Citizencon, Tony Z showed off Quanta. What's Quanta? You should stream all day. No, I can't stream for more than like 3 hours. I lose energy really badly. I have like a reserve of energy, and it just goes. My body works like 100%, like 190% all the time. So I lose energy. I burn energy really bloody quickly. Why is it every time I mention someone in chat, Streamlabs complain that I posted a link? I don't know. Hang on, let me try and at you. Thunderbolt. Yeah, well that worked. I don't know. Hang on. Thunderbolt Dragon, you are a friend of the channel. There you go. Oh no. Ooey! I've made Ooey! I'm sorry, Ooey! Ooey, you've been a great moderator. For all of 3 seconds. Thunderbolt! It was you. There you are. And there. There you go. Thunderbolt, you deserve it. You've been here for a very long time. And now that shouldn't affect anything. Right? Try it now. Ubi's like, I'm a moderator! Oh. That was my bad, sorry. It's just like the POV here. The POV here is I'm sat at a bar and I look over and there's just these 3 guys sat around a table in a sleepy pub. This is the POV. This is literally what is happening right now. It doesn't feel like they're talking to us. It feels like they're talking between themselves. That's not that's not good for community stuff. You need to be getting people's, not attention, but you need to be keeping people engaged. Jared, the person that was on earlier, did a fantastic job of that. He was so good. But this feels like a group of friends chatting, which isn't a problem. It's just not great for video, unfortunately. I could listen to this as a podcast. I think this would work well as a podcast. No. I turned the volume down because I ended up starting to talk. We were earlier. We did have them up so you can actually hear them earlier. I mean, I'll let you listen first for a couple of seconds, all right?
The Liberator is, unless you suddenly got an Idris to carry things with, this is what you're going to see going through these wide and long star systems. Like Pyro is incredibly large compared to Stanton, and Stanton's already quite big to go from one side to the other. So,
as I said before, it's a group of friends talking about something they love, and that's not a bad thing. It's just not great for a stream. It's just not good for a stream. I'm a bit bored. The Bull one is pretty cool. He is pretty amazing. I do like him. They could see every player in real time what they're doing, areas of conflict, prices and quantity of resources. And Stellaris, Quanta is basically that in the form of a dev tool. Jesus Christ, that's insane. You know what they need? Meth. No, they do not. Oh, Merchantman! Holy shit, it's happening!
let's talk about the Banu Merchantman then.
Here we go. I thought they were going to show off something.
Well, for this.
Yeah, we haven't really shown a huge amount of it beyond those original concept images. So
no, and I think
here are some more concept images.
This is my second
Come on.
round on this, so I think maybe like 3 years ago we did an initial concept round.
Around the time of the Defender, I guess.
I can't actually remember.
So long ago.
Yeah.
Tim says, "Boss, okay, you three, I need you guys to fill an hour while we prep the rest of the show. Think you could do that?"
Obviously, we've talked about this many times in the past. As Star Citizen develops, things get added, things get refined, we improve our workflow. So, number one thing we had to do was look at the size and the scale of the ship, because I think it was 160 meters wide and 160 meters long, so it's in essence a cube.
Yeah,
but
it's a very tall ship as well.
Yeah, but
are they just making the Borg cube right now?
A full interior layout, so
not to like the new system. No.
Yeah, so we need to make sure it fit everything in. So it's always a good starting point. The cargo numbers they've never really been changed since they were originally concepted as freight units, not standard cargo units. So the scale of cargo has changed since we did it originally.
I don't remember freight units.
Yeah.
It was
It's a long time ago. The marketplace / bazaar need to have a good working out.
Okay.
And then lastly,
right. This is the problem we had with the Koch Media Prime Matter stream. Remember that? You remember that with Toby sniffing his soap? They. Okay, right, here we go. Show video. Show video. Show gameplay. Show reality. Show something. Please.
The addition of the Defender to the ship basically had the biggest impact in a way. Like just because the Defender is not a slim ship, is it?
No, it's deceptively big to me. Like the Defender, I always think in my head that it's this tiny little thing, but it's,
in flight mode,
this
it's quite slim.
This feels just like their Monday morning meeting. Yes.
So,
come on.
This has been. I think I've probably been on this for maybe a year, something like that now. And I said before, we did an initial round.
They literally just said they were going to show it. They are doing this on purpose. They're literally doing this on purpose. Tim says, "Thank you, Roxy, for providing 90% of the entertainment value right now." Anytime. These guys seem lovely. Just not. It's not the right tone. Do something.
The player experience and the flow and things making sense, less rule of cool. If we still have the coolness, but you want it to work right. You don't want it to be frustrating.
I think when you kind of do it, like obviously this big ship, so you think, oh yeah, you know, we can make whatever room this size and it'll be fine, but that kind of always sets us up for just a lot more headaches when it comes to our size. So by you spending the time to actually like...
Lauren says this is why the game took so long, because Monday meetings were this goddamn long. yeah, this is why.
Away from us, puts it up front onto you, basically.
Yeah.
So thanks, Paul. Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, we've tried hard. I mean, you can see here that you know the ship did have to.
No, that's the wrong one.
Talked about earlier. We had
That's not the one we were talking about.
And scaled up it now
doesn't fit
the hanger
so
metrics.
we'll get to the solution in a little bit.
Get to it now.
Quick shot of the front, and you can actually see that from the front it hasn't actually changed that much. You know, it's grown a little bit in height, but you know, gained a little bit of body mass, but overall pretty similar. I mean, we've, you know, sort of, you know, the ethos of this whole thing is, you know, the ship was really cool anyway. Like, everybody really liked the ship, so it wasn't that we wanted to change.
I'm sure we'd all love the ship if we could see it. No, I'm kidding. They're talking about the Defender now, even though they were supposed to be showing us the Merchantman, and they're not. That's going to be obviously released in a couple of minutes or hours, probably. This is like clickbait. This is literally clickbait. They're saying, we're going to show you a new ship. And you're like, oh, you like click on one of fucking, what's his face's videos, that GTA YouTuber who's like, oh, we're going to show off this really cool thing, and oh my god. And then it takes them half an hour to actually get to the point of the title of the video.
Actually, you know, the whole process has been quite nice in a way.
Gained a bit of body mass, we all have during C19. Yeah, exactly.
To begin with, I was really scared. And then the kind of like the closer you've kind of got to finishing your work, the kind of like the less scared I'm getting and the more excited I'm getting. And I'll probably have, when we get into production, I'll be like, oh no, what are we going to do? And then
this is the definition of filler. Yeah, it feels like it right now, and that's a shame. What they should have done, and I know this isn't good for metrics, what they should have done, and this isn't even the ship we're supposed to be looking at right now, what they should have done is shown it at the start. They should show the big things at the start of each of their shows, right? So at the start of this, they should have shown the Merchantman. At the start of the last one, they should have shown that gameplay, and then talked about how it was made, so people could stick around to see how it was created. Now, if you do that in a YouTube video, generally people will watch that part of the video and then click off once that bit's over. That's not good for metrics. Twitch and live streams are different. People will generally stick around. So they could have done that with this. Why are they making us wait nearly 2 hours to get to what we actually want to see? It bothers me. Did they accidentally leak a board meeting or something? Yes! I think they did. I really love they have this amazing passion. You can tell they're really happy about this. They're really loving this. They're not this stream, but they really love the game, and they love creating these things, and you can tell that by watching this. But for someone on the outside watching this, it's not exciting. You need something to keep us interested. You need something to keep us watching. They went from concept to gameplay. I get that they were trying to convey, but it doesn't translate well to video. No, it doesn't. Have you watched Viva La Dirt League on YouTube? They do funny video game spoofs. I think I've seen them on Facebook. They're quite big on Facebook, aren't they? I've just seen them pop up every now and again on Facebook. You get those videos and those really crappy bus simulator. No, is it Euro Truck Simulator modded videos where it's just a guy with really awful mic quality, and he doesn't say a word. All you can hear is the wheel of his steering wheel, and all you can hear is the audio coming from their monitor. They aren't even playing the audio through the stream, and it's just they're driving along these really narrow roads, and it's like the most dangerous roads in the world. And it's literally it's hours worth of footage of this guy just driving along these really thin roads. That's all over Facebook. That shit's everywhere. It's awful. That's awful. Just don't. Why? They never say a word. That doesn't keep interest in streams. Okay, they're not getting to this, are they? They teased us with the Minuteman, or not Minutemen, the Minuteman. Another settlement needs your help. No, they. No, I know what you're talking about, E-Man. No, I know what you're talking about. I was just saying that normally Facebook gaming videos are like that. What I just talked about. I know Viva La Dirt are good. I've seen their videos before. Right. I think I'm gonna go. We can talk about some of this stuff when I make a video next on Star Citizen. By then, we'll actually know what these things are. I have the MM. Do you mean the ship they're talking about right now? Funcom's dev streams are always interesting because they had hired excellent community managers. The guy that was on earlier, Jared, he was fucking amazing. They need him in here. They need him in here making jokes and reading out chat every now and again. There needs to be something. Did he just say TARDIS? Oh, damn you, you bastard. You bloody mentioned the TARDIS. Now I'm interested. It's not in the game. He literally said TARDIS. I know you guys can't hear it, but... Okay. I love each and every single one of you. I'm gonna go. Yeah. I know. I know. Thank you very much for being here today. I know this has been a bit of a weird stream, because there's been no gameplay from me at all, and the only gameplay we got was earlier. I'll be back in the next couple of days with a new silly Star Citizen video. Don't worry, I will be doing it. I had to get that video done on that other game. I still need to make a video on Far Cry 6 as well. I want to do a silly just exploration video on that as well. But yes, Star Citizen will be turning back up. It's just because I've been so ill this last week. I'm like 93% well now. So I'm feeling a lot better than I did, as you can hear. Anyway, I love each and every single one of you. Thank you very much for watching this. I liked the clouds. The clouds were good. The gameplay was fucking brilliant. And I love the 400i to the point where I'm actually wanting to buy it with real money, which is worrying. Anyway, goodbye everyone. Feel better, the last 7% at least. Thank you very much, sir. I never feel 100% because I'm old. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of this. If you guys want to go obviously and watch this on Twitch, it's streaming live. And also, follow me on Twitter at asexybiscuit. I'll message you about joining you for silliness in Star Citizen. Yes, with the videos, I have some ideas about trying. I'll say this now. So the people that are still here, I want to do a silly thing where I walk up to random players and I interview them. I think that could be kind of fun. Just walk up to a guy and be like, "Hello, this is Roxy with NTV News," and then just interview them, but ask them ridiculous questions like, "Why is cheese round? Are eggs real?" Something like that. Just see their reaction. Why is your face a face? Just silly things that make no sense. I think that could be fun. Yeah. I want to see how that works. Anyway, right. Goodbye, everyone. I love each and every single one of you. I love the Silesia. I don't know how to say it. A Silesia video. Thank you. Thank you, yes. All right. What is your favorite biscuit? Do I talk like that the whole time? I just do the interviews like that. Hi. Hello. Hi, it's me. I just do that. Number 15. Anyway. Right. Bye. Bye.